But hold up, bro. What's up, Nate, baby? And we got Nate in the building, y'all. We got the pleasure of having Nate in the building. What it do? What it do? Doctor, what it is? Laval, what it is? We back. We ain't back on good news though, man. We ain't back on good news. So Duval rapper, Lil Poppa. Yeah, it is sad, y'all. And know what's crazy? I just really got on the shorty. Not even just, far as his music wise. Just of who he is. He did a couple features with niggas from my city for real. Damn, shorty. I think he committed suicide, y'all. I hate wearing white, y'all. This shit get dirty so fast. I think he committed suicide, man. Damn, shorty. Shorty had promised too. 2,800. Man, what it do? She changed her name, bro? You think he's fucking with God? The fuck? Fuck she come from? Do anybody know this girl? What the fuck? Get out of here. He died in Georgia. Yo, what? Yo, come on, yo. God damn, they be killing nigga with all these damn ads and shit. So he was in Fulton County. Fulton County Medical Examiner Office in Georgia tells TMZ the rapper's real name. Janarius Michael Wheeler was pronounced dead today at 11:23 a.m. Now, rumors is, he committed suicide, man. Lil Poppa was signed to Yo Guys Collective Music Group, CMG. Oh, yeah, that's the name of it? It's not Cars, Money, and Guns no more? Okay. It has released several hit tracks over the last few years, including Love and War, Mind Over Matter, Happy Tears. 16-song album, Almost Normal Again, came out in August. He released a new song titled Out of Town Babe this past Friday. Damn, shorty. Let's check them out, y'all.
Muddy paws. Simple. Sticky spills. Easy.
Gotta turn it off. They just put the little thing at the bottom of my screen. Damn, shorty. Yeah, they put the little strip under there. Let me know it's gonna be copywritten. See if the news reported on it. No jumper. 25 years old. God damn, shorty. Man, what it is, Trev? Niggas be young as shit, man. Yo, my thing, see, yo, life, shit changed, man. Only time you lose is when you give up, to be honest. That's just like that in general. Only time you lose is when you give up. Fucking CSI SETI. Ain't fucking with y'all. Let's see what the Family TV did on.
Nobody wins when the family
She's still
feels.
Family TV, man.
In front of their granny house. Everybody standing out. Hop in the car, it's time to go, so we scatter out. Turn the music up and blow the horn at granny Santa house. Might slide the jet set, get out of
And
school.
you ever hear me rapping this song?
I know you think about giving up. I see them niggas looking. Open and sweet, come try your luck then. But don't be where I pull up now, back my truck then. Word, I got killers watching my back, baby, keep saying. When the first 10 kick in, that shit be like love at first sight. She want me to let her in, but I fucked the bitch on the first night. Back. Don't do that. If I don't answer the first time, I don't give a fuck what I was doing. I can't answer the phone. Don't call, don't blow my shit up. Text me, let me know it's an emergency or some shit. I ain't gonna block you, but you gonna have me, man. Man, let me call you right back, bro. Calling my phone back.
Oh yeah, sickle cell.
Woke up, read me a Bible verse, got some breakfast in my
Man,
system.
sickle cell ain't no joke, man. My
You know what I'm
grandson
saying?
got
And he
sickle
laid it
cell.
on me. I got one more album, EP, mixtape, whichever one it's gonna be. I got one more, and it's over. I'm going to find my peace.
Fam, we all know life don't always fall apart loud. Sometimes it happens in silence. On the outside, everything can look perfect. The music, the success, the image of somebody who finally made it out. But behind closed doors, some battles never made it to social media. They never made it into the interviews and never make it to the people who think you're the strongest one in the room. We all can relate to this. Sometimes we hold everything in. Sometimes one moment, one loss, one decision can change everything. Today we talking about a Jacksonville rapper who many fans felt moved differently during one of the most intense eras of the drill music in Duval County. An artist whose sound wasn't built on noise, built on pain. And today, the story hits different because according to TMZ, Lil Poppa, real name Janorius Willer, was pronounced deceased at 11:23 a.m. by the Fulton County Medical Examiner Office in Georgia. His cause of death has not been publicly released. He was only 25 years old. So in this video, we pay our respects, highlight his career, see what's talked about publicly along his journey, his ups, his downs, and most importantly, shine light on his situation in hopes that somebody dealing with similar situations can learn from his. But before we go over this one, I want you guys to remember, I won't give you no angle. I just give you the story. So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We'll jump right to it. Before Jacksonville became known worldwide for drill music, Duval County already had a voice. Early artists built their buzz through local shows, CDs, and music got more aggressive. And Jacksonville started becoming one of the most talked about rap scenes in the country. Born in the year of 2000, Lil Poppa came from the 1200 block on Jacksonville's west side, a neighborhood connected to artists like Whopper with the Chopper and Spinner Benz, names that helped push the city's drill sound into national conversations. During that era, songs wasn't just music, they were moments. One of the most viral tracks to come from the city, Who I Smoke, a moment that showed how far Jacksonville's sound had reached. When I see you, I'ma push your shit back. But even coming from that environment, Lil Poppa music leaned in a different direction. Less dissonant, more emotion. While many artists chased aggressive energy, Lil Poppa built this sound through what fans called pain music. Songs that felt like therapy. Stories
like
about
raw
loss, pressure, and survival. And a lot of listeners started comparing that emotional lane to artists like Rod Wave, who helped bring vulnerable storytelling to mainstream hip-hop. That comparison wasn't about copying anybody. It was about a feeling and how being authentic made them stand out in the crowded city.
The OGs in front of their granny house. Everybody standing out. Hop in the car, it's time to go, so we scatter out. Turn the music up and blow the horn at granny Santa house. Might slide the jet set, get out of school at 2 o'clock. Then I see the whole team chilling at the bus stop. Slid to the yellow stove, we finna make a goulash. Quillo said, mix it up, I'm messing up my shoes now. We done got hot, so we just chillin' till it cool down. Might slide the first street with the dirty block. Told us slid down Phelps, but we ain't see nobody out.
Now that was early stages, Lil Poppa, a young kid who just loved to rap. But as time went on, now this a young man that garnered over 700,000 subs on YouTube, millions of monthly listeners on Spotify at just 25 years old. In 2022, he inked a deal with CMG through Interscope, a moment he felt refined his career.
I didn't know he was signed to CMG.
What you just say you do to that motherfucker? Yeah, Trey Young, that motherfucker? Yeah, quit playing, nigga. The big league. Goddamn it, play time over in the big league, you know what I'm saying? Drop it to the family.
my
Appreciate
brother.
that. Appreciate that.
That's super dope, and to have someone like Yo Gotti in your corner is not, it's not some little thing. That's a big thing right there.
Yeah, it's like more of a like mentor. And that's not the first time I heard that. Like, I heard that before we even started doing business. So, you feel me? Like, now that he's the same way that everybody else described him. He's that same way with me. You feel me? So, that's one thing I respect the most out of it.
Let's bring it back. So, when was the first time that you and Gotti, like, first kind of got together? Like, what was that first meeting like? The first time that he reached out to you, or vice versa?
You know, it was like, shout out to Joey Amanda. I don't know if anybody know Joey Amanda, but Joey Amanda, he's like, he's really the reason why I'm in the school. You feel me? And that's like, since I signed, he's been like one of those people in the industry that you can just feel the genuineness. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Like, it's something about Joy in his spirit, and especially with me, the way he adapted to me. You feel me? Like, it's like his main goal was to always make sure, even if he don't speak, cause he if you know him, if you know Joy, he's one of them type people that don't talk, don't speak on nothing at all. But he always watching, observing, and he's always trying to help. So the whole time, like, while I'm working and releasing music, he plugging me in with Gotti, you feel me? Like, and I don't even, you feel me? I don't even know. Like, when I meet with Gotti, like, yeah, like, I know all your shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, every song you released in these past couple of 2 years, honestly, since Joy been sending me all that. You know what I'm saying? Like he basically telling me, like, and the shit you doing is not normal. You know what I'm saying? For like your numbers. You know what I'm saying? Like, way different, like, than the motherfuckers with millions and millions of followers. You know what I'm saying? You 500,000 followers. Like, so he just basically telling me, like, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna work you, you know what I'm saying? And we're gonna get you where you need to be. You feel me?
That's fine. That was like the first meeting.
That was like the first meeting, you know what I'm saying? Like,
was that like kind of off that meeting? You were like,
saying like he was a real humble kid, man. It's crazy. You don't be knowing what demons, people just be. It's crazy how, you can motherfucker look happy as shit on the outside, on the inside, nigga be dying. My thing is, at 25, you still got a whole lot of life to live, And a lot of times, all you got, whatever you going through, all you gotta do is see it to the end. You know what I mean? Just let it play out. I done been through some fucked up situations, Fucked up situations. And as long as you endure, majority of the times, you gonna come out victorious, Like I said, you don't quit until it ain't over till you quit. It ain't over until you quit, It ain't over until you stop fighting. I don't give a fuck if you homeless, poor, jobless, addicted to drugs, like, whatever you it ain't over until you quit. As long as you see that shit through, fight every day, try to progress every day, eventually you gonna make it out that hole, whatever it is, even if it's depression, man. I just don't recommend giving up, I don't recommend it, man.
I want to go with Gotti.
because like I said, it was like I already know him. It was like it was already building up to that point. You feel me? So even after that time, it still took me some time. Like, I still thought it over. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, okay, now I gotta make sure that I fit. You feel me? That I'm gonna be fitting in these certain places and in these. You feel me? Like, now, okay, it's back on me. Now, like, and then I thought about, like, honestly, okay, it's not just about me no more.
Niggas, what it do?
You feel me? Like, it's about everybody else around me and taking everybody else to the next level. So if I know there's something that can take me to the next level, it's also something that can take everybody else around me to the next level as well. You feel me? So I looked at it as an opportunity.
Every artist has a moment where people start paying attention. For Lil Poppa, early records gained traction because outside of Jacksonville, were asking, who is this?
Memories I fled, bitch telling the story. I ain't got time to diss today. But fuck them niggas, they dead. I the times I got.
Jacksonville drill era exploded with viral diss tracks and online rivalries. Poppa existed in the same environment, but didn't fully lean into that energy. Even though he shared roots with areas connected to artists like Spinner Bands and Whopper with the Chopper, his music stayed reflective. Fans debated where he stood, but his catalog spoke louder than any controversy. Emotion over aggression, storytelling over shock value. Like many rising artists, Poppa experienced moments that circulated heavily online. Fans still talked about an alleged mall incident involving Julio Fulio, a situation that gained traction across social media and showed how closely the city scene was being watched. And behind the music, there were real losses. One name supporters often mention is Suge, a young man whose passing deeply affected people connected to the 1200 area. Moments like that shape the emotion you can hear in Poppa's music.
Another shocking thing you mentioned in the record was Lil Poppa, another Jacksonville artist who releases quality music.
Yeah.
He seems to stay to himself. He's not all over the blogs and doing all this. And you mentioned him. What's the history with you and him? How does that correlate?
Shit, we got songs too. We got songs out on YouTube and shit. But shit, we just got in the we fought. I beat his ass type shit. I had beat his ass and shit in the mall and shit. Me and my little cousin Coach had beat his ass in the mall and shit. That just was that. That shit on, you know what I'm saying? That just was that.
How do you go from making songs with somebody to fighting? Like, what is that energy? How does that energy even come about? Like, what happened?
This what it be, Sean. When I make a song,
I think Sean can't be too excited.
People's name right. I'm direct with it.
Y'all like that shit.
Hit 1,000 sneak. This is a nigga say to me, antagonize me and shit. You get what I'm saying? So when I see you, I'ma address it type shit. Y'all probably ain't hit 1 million sneak this because y'all don't know what's going on in Jacksonville, but we heard the shit. So when we see you, what it be about, you know what I'm saying? Nah, nigga on your ass. Nah, nigga beating your ass. Nah, that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Basically what it was.
Now, nonetheless, that didn't stop nothing Lil Poppa had going on. Just 5 days ago, he dropped a track titled Out of Town Bait, where he mentioned Free Quando, a man currently arrested that raps from Savannah, Georgia. The two did a song together that got over 12 million views on YouTube. And when NBA Youngboy made his appearance on his tour to Florida, he brought out Lil Poppa. And recently before that, as his pain music gained more mainstream attention, Poppa found himself moving alongside artists in that same emotional space, including Torn Energy connected to Rod Wave's lane. For supporters, it felt like his moment had fully arrived, or well on his way, like the quiet grind was finally getting the spotlight it deserved. But along the journey, Lil Poppa made some questionable posts, even one he made about his last EP just 2 weeks ago.
OG, woke up, read me a Bible verse, got some breakfast in my system, talked to God about it. You know what I'm saying? And he laid it on me. I got one more album, EP, mixtape, whichever one it's gonna be, I got one more. And it's over, I'm going to find my peace. Say don't.
And the crazy part is,
maybe that shit was too demanding for him, yo. Maybe, that's the thing, yo. And I don't know if this the case. That can be, maybe the industry was too demanding for him, yo. Before you get famous and before you sign deals, a lot of times that shit be fun. You rapping for fun. You rapping because that's what you want to do. But maybe it was the business aspect of things, It could be a multitude of reasons. I'm just trying to make sense of it. I just know that's the thing where I think Tank is going through that with boxing, where he was fighting for the love of the sport. He was fighting to get himself out and his family in a better situation. But once he got in that situation and start saying the business aspect of things, and basically just the business aspect of things, he probably just like, this ain't really for me, man. When it come down to being signed, you gotta make deadlines. You can't put music out the way you want. I'm not saying this the case. I'm just saying like that is something that can stress a person out, But I don't never recommend, suicide. Never recommend that, man. I think that's selfish. I do. I think that's selfish of everybody that care about you.
True. The single was released, the album was turned in, and on February 18, 2026, according to TMZ, Lil Poppa was pronounced deceased at 11:23 a.m. Eastern Time. As mentioned at the very beginning, his cause of death has not been released. He was only 25. May he rest in peace. I love and condolences to his family. At the end of the day, behind every artist is a human being. If you or someone you know is going through something heavy, fam, don't carry it alone. Like I always tell.
Man, sure. Speak to the family TV, man. Did the news report on it? On the live in Atlanta. New information. I think probably clickbaiting. Boosie. I'm saying Boosie is fucked up about it.
Like, I'm not even playing on my mama.
The merch definitely can be depressing, you know. Being addicted to drugs and not being able to, you know, function without them, or, you know, you want to get off them and you still struggling, you know. I mean, like I said, I just don't see a reason in your life or nothing. Like, cause shit get better, yo. Things get better, yo. Shit change, yo. About oh nah. This I didn't. Not yet. We could probably check it out on here.
My God, no.
Man, trust me, I know. I done went through perk withdrawals and trying to get off them pills, and I get it. Shit rough. No, it's a never ending battle. It's a fight, but you don't. I just don't. I don't know, yo. Everybody different, yo. That's one thing I always say. Even when it comes to when people like, yo, if I can do it, you can do it too. Like, yo, that's not necessarily the case, yo. Like, you know, everybody isn't as strong as the next person. You feel me? Like, just because I can endure something, I can endure, you know, losing family and friends my whole life. That don't mean the next person can. You feel me? And I don't think it's fair, you know, because people will do that. You know, they'll put, well, I've been through this. I made it. You know, you can make it too. And it's like, yeah, I don't think that's fair to, you know. Everybody got different, you know, breaking points. You know, pressure bust pipes. Everybody can't endure pressure. You know, some people, you know, fold the pressure. Some people bend the pressure. You know, some people pressure make them a diamond. You know, pressure make them stronger. It's just, I got different strokes for different folks, for real. Man,
No!
straight up.
Oh my God!
Say don't. You'll be proud of me, OG. Woke up, read me a Bible verse, got some breakfast in my system, talked to God about it. You know what I'm saying? And he laid it on me. I got one more album, EP, mixtape, whichever one it's gonna be, I got one more. And it's over, I'm gonna find my peace.
Rapper Lil Poppa has died. The Fulton County Medical Examiner's Office confirmed on Wednesday, February 18th. The Jacksonville rapper, born Janarius Michael Wheeler, was 25 years old. Poppa's cause of death remains under investigation at this time, as details remain scarce. There's been an outpouring of support from the rapper's fans and peers since news of his death broke. Boosie, Dej Loaf, Mozzie, and Nardo Wick were among the rappers to pay tribute to Poppa. Lil Poppa signed to Yo Gotti's CMG label in 2022. He's notched collaborations over the years with Gotti, Polo G, Rilo Rodriguez, Tusi, Mozzie, Young and Ace, and Seti Hendrix. Check this out. My little brother is gone. Poppa, I love you so much. I am so broken. One of the first artists I had at Interscope, A&R'd 4 of his projects.
I'm gonna give a TIP Thug and Peace to Lil Poppa, man. And another nigga right there, you know. Always supported me, looked up to me, my nigga. Always came to Boosie, babe. Solid little nigga, too.
For the time being.
Some T.I.P. Poppa, nigga, Thug in Peace, nigga. Damn, Pop. Talented ass nigga, boy. T.I.P. Poppa, nigga. Duval legend, nigga. Duval legend, nigga. Live across the world. YNs, nigga. Niggas with Pop. My daughter, young nigga. With Pop. T.I.P. Poppa, nigga. Love it.
Get a view of this, man. Any young niggas on here right now, it's more to life, man. It's more to life, bro. You feel me? I am not in the streets no more. I'm forever a street, you feel me? But I'm not in the streets no more. If you're looking at this jacket, you can make it out. It's more to life. I be trying to tell my shawty. Don't get stuck in this shit, thinking it's all it is. Living off of what you see and it's what I'm showing you. I promise you, your favorite rapper ain't in the streets. If he is, you feel me? Hey, trust me, do believe, man. There's more to this, bro. It's so much of this that I ain't seen yet, and I ain't stopping until I see it.
It's TikTok. Yeah, I'm not even looking at it. It's TikTok, bro. I'm not even looking like that. I'm not even looking at y'all. I'm not even studying y'all right now. Y'all lying ass. I don't play like that. What the hell? You don't play with girls, bro. What y'all talking about? I'm finna get all this bitch. Cause y'all negative. On my mama, y'all talking about Lil Poppa on my mama. Like, I'm not even playing on my mama. Oh my God, no, serious. No, oh my God. Oh my God.
Say don't. You'll be proud of me, OG. Woke up, read me a Bible verse, got some breakfast in my system, talked to God about it. You know what I'm saying? And he laid it on me. I got one more album, EP, mixtape, whichever one it's gonna be, I got one more. And it's over, I'm going to find my peace.
I guess that was his. I guess that was him signing off. That shit wicked. That's wicked, man. Damn, sure. Rest in peace to the young brother, man. What the fuck? That nigga threatened to send troops to Atlanta. What the fuck is going on in Atlanta, man?
Help in Atlanta. You're right, Atlanta. We could take care of Atlanta. I'll tell you what, you ought to get them to call me. We could take care of Atlanta so fast. They don't want to call. They don't want to call because they don't want to admit it, and they'll never fix it themselves. Don't forget, we move people out. We don't just go in and, be tough guys. We move people out. We take career criminals and we get them out. We bring them back to the country from where they came. And think of it, 90% of the crime is caused by 2% of the people. Thank you. So when you get the criminals out, you solve a lot of problems. And need a little help.
Yeah,
you need help.
He's misled with that. And those stats not even,
for Team Trump and the national government.
Those stats not even real. Somebody need to tell him. Or maybe he don't care. But it's way more than just policing, yo. Like, he's all the way wrong when it comes down to that shit. Y'all see what happened with LaMelo Ball? LaMelo Ball crashed his Hummer in Charlotte. Caught on video.
So that was the aftermath from a pretty brutal car crash involving star hooper LaMelo Ball. In the original clip, you see LaMelo's custom Hummer smash into a key at the intersection, and the impact was clearly strong enough to send one of the tires from the Hummer flying.
Damn.
According to WSOC, one person suffered minor injuries, but LaMelo appeared to be unharmed and was seen quickly hopping into another vehicle. But honestly, I'm just glad that nobody else was injured in what seemed to be a pretty brutal crash.
It's a video of that shit. Shit wasn't that bad of a crash. They must wasn't paying attention. Nigga jumped out. Nigga, what the fuck, bitch? Fuck is you doing? They must was texting and driving or something. My bad. Did y'all see this? Hold up. Man accused of murder, the real G Money was arrested after allegedly firing shots into a St. Gabriel home, according to police. What's his name, Pep or something? What the fuck happened? St. Gabriel shooting. St. Gabriel shooting. No, I don't think nobody died. Oh, just came on. He ain't even home that long. He made out in the G Money shit. They only charged him with the gun. Well, that's all. I don't even think he the one that killed G Money. I think he just had the gun that killed G Money. February 15th. That was 4 days ago. So they find the story. That was 4 days ago. Three days ago. But look at this, y'all. So, Queso, the nigga that's supposed to be Queso father, sat down with a nigga.
I go to prison.
And the conversation came up. See, that's why these niggas don't like to sit with organic people. Look at how yo grilled Shorty about his decision making. Him right here. Got on his ass.
I'm in prison for nothing. I rather a motherfucker put my toes in the air on the street for something than me die in prison for nothing. No, I can't agree with that, cuz. You don't gotta agree. I'm not agreeing with that, man. We come from a cloth. We come from a different cloth. We come from a different cloth. I'm not gonna let you sit here and say that. So why you don't want to? I will lay down my life for my kids, let alone.
Yo, like, yo, this nigga is like, see this. I'm glad they did this. Because, yo, these guys are able to sit on these interviews and just say anything. Yo, Queso father participated in the murder. He participated in it. All that, they called me and, yo, you participated in the murder, man. That man got rid of the clothes. He switched cars. He provided alibis. Yo, you was an accomplice in that shit, bro. But he keep trying to play victim. Excuse me. And I'm glad in this situation, dude did not allow Queso father to play victim, yo. You're not a victim, my nigga. Not a fucking victim, bro. It's your fucking child, my nigga. If you was a better father, all that shit could have been avoided. Fuck boy. Only reason niggas called you because they thought you was with the shit. And I'm glad, yo, he stood on 10 toes, man. Shorty probably never go back there again. He gotta go to Vlad. Or say cheese. You know, one of them niggas that just allow him to say anything with no pushback. Man, salute to yo right here, man. With the bald head, man. My man, Mr. Clean, man. Salute to Mr. Clean, man.
Call that. I got this. My brother. How you know? Hold on, let me give you a floor. This my how do I know I would? Yes. How you know? I done been in it. How can you say what you? That's why I'm out the way. But you ain't never had this mind frame, this train of thought what you got right now. Nah, didn't. That but I just have a will and a core. Don't use integrity. Don't use the word but. Ain't no but. Ain't no but. I have that in me right now today. I will take a case for him that he didn't even did. We go out here right now, and I would take it. This is because of my camaraderie and this is my blood. And I ain't even do it. And I'm 35 and I'm going to jail. I'm proud of you right there. And this ain't even my motherfucking son. Now, everybody don't have that type of integrity. Right. That shit is dying out. But let alone like, our kids do shit that disappoint us all our life. Am I right or wrong? Don't do that. Don't do this, John. Don't do that. That's my son, but you keep forgetting that's a grown man. It is, but
it don't fucking matter, bitch. Like, yo, this nigga, fuck, yo, crazy, yo. Yo, this guy's crazy, man. Yo, you sent your fucking son to jail, my nigga. For life. For fucking life, man. Yo, the thing about it though, Trell, them niggas retaliated because his bitch ass got shot. So he keep trying to paint this story like he wasn't involved. Yo, you was all the way involved, my nigga. You was a victim. The nigga dissed you. You wanted the man dead, yo, just like they did, man. Regardless if you didn't know about the, yeah, I'm not saying it, my bad. I only read the first part, but yeah, Trout. Regardless if you knew about the play or they called you and you ain't know what was going on, yo, you wanted that man dead too, bro. You participated in the crime, bro. You're not gonna get online and keep playing victim, my nigga. You just a rat, bro. Just accept it. You couldn't take accountability for your fucking actions, and you told, bro. That's what you did.
He was 21 at the time. That's how grown you want 21 to be. He ain't listening at nothing I'm saying. The whole time when do kids ever listen, Blue? When is that 9-year-old, the 6-year-old, is they listening? Because if you sit here and tell me they listen, we fighting right now. No, I ain't. You tell me they ain't listening right now. You know damn well you got to say it over and over. So answer this for me, because I'm supposed to be getting answers, but answer this for me. Yeah, because I told you we were going to get into it. When do Queso get some responsibility in this situation? Accountability. When do he get accountability in this situation? When do he get accountability for bragging on all this shit he done in this situation?
Look, he's a bitch.
He getting it right there. I'm just saying, beforehand, he got life. Okay, check this out. He got life. He got to spend the rest of his life with this accountability. Right or wrong? Right, but he ain't had to. But he ain't have to. I'm looking at it too. I'm coming to your question. But I'm looking at it too from me and my daddy point of view. Because it's no way I'm going to sit there and let my daddy fight these people and go down in a situation where he ain't had nothing to do with. That's you. That's what I'm saying. That's just you. That's what I'm saying. Everybody is different. Then I'm looking at our relationship. I'm looking at how I'm thinking that we are. If Queso go in there, Queso could have freed everybody. I go to prison. I die in prison for nothing. I rather motherfucker put nothing, my toes in the air.
You'd have died in prison, yo, for your fucking son, my nigga. Yo, keep saying for nothing. Tales from, what's the name of it? The jails. Let's go to this interview. Yo, keep saying for nothing. The fuck they put this shit on members only for? Oh man, come on, man. Y'all on some bullshit. Guess we're gonna have to just watch the clip.
On the street for something than me dying in prison for nothing. No, I can't agree with that, cuz. You don't gotta agree. I'm not agreeing with that, man. We come from a cloth. We come from a different cloth. We come from a different cloth. I'm not gonna let you sit here and say that. So why you don't want to? Bro, I will lay down my life for my kids, let alone fuck all that. I got this, my brother. How you know? Hold on, let me give you a floor. This my how do I know I was? Yes. How you know? I done been in it. How can you say what you? That's why I'm out the way. But you ain't never had this mind frame, this train of thought what you got right now, huh? Nah, I didn't. But I just have a will and a core. Don't use integrity. Don't use the word but. Ain't no but. Ain't no but. I have that in me right now today. I will take a case for him that he didn't even do. We go out here right now and I would take it. This is because of my camaraderie and this is my blood. And I ain't even do it. And I'm 45 and I'm going to jail. I'm proud of you right there. And this ain't even my motherfucking son. Now, everybody don't have that type of integrity. Right. That shit is dying out. But let alone our kids do shit that disappoint us all our life. Am I right or wrong? Don't do that. Don't do this, John. Don't do that. That's my son, but you keep forgetting that's a grown man. It is, but he still needs your nurture. He was 21 at the time. That's a grown man.
He was a fucking kid, bro. He was a kid, man. He was a kid, bro. You 50 plus. You already lived your life, my nigga. I'm glad they did what they did, man. Well, him, for grilling y'all. Because I ain't seen nobody grill them. I seen him go to Vlad and let Vlad make excuses for him. I seen Sean Cotton make excuses for him. Yo, ain't no excuse for what you did, my nigga. It's no excuse, man.
He ain't listening at nothing I'm saying. The whole time when do kids ever listen, Blue? Is that 9-year-old, the 6-year-old, is they listening? Because if you sit here and tell me they listen, we fighting right now. No. You tell me they ain't listening right now. You know damn well you got to say it over and over. So answer this for me, because I'm supposed to be getting answers, but answer this for me. Yeah, because I told you we were going to get into it. When do Queso get some responsibility in this situation? Accountability. When do he get accountability in this situation? When do he get accountability for bragging on all this shit he done in this situation? He getting it right there. I'm just saying, beforehand. He got life. Okay, check this out. He got life. He got to spend the rest of his life with this accountability.
And you help
right or wrong. Right, but he ain't had to. But he ain't have to. I'm looking at it too.
Man. Yo, wow. Yo, wild as a motherfucker, man. I'm glad Joe drilled Joe. Hold up, it's another clip.
I took my lawyer and I said, look, man, go to Queso and them lawyer and man, let's all sit down and see how we gonna fight this. Queso and them don't understand that, bro. Your lawyer worked for
what's the person name again?
And I had a couple strategies that the way I wanted to fight the situation. Mm-hmm. And when Queso and Crazy denied the sit down, they didn't have to say nothing. They could have just sat there and listened. I felt a little betrayal then, but it wasn't. It's not a justification. I'm not gonna never justify getting up there on that stand.
Yo, you've been trying to what the fuck? Yo, I hate these niggas. Hey, yo, Trey, what's the name? Yo, you've been justifying it on every fucking platform. Yo, that's one. People always do that. They try to justify and then say, I ain't making no excuses. I ain't justifying what I did. Yo, that is what you've been doing, bro. That's what you've been doing on every fucking platform you done been on. Trying to justify sending your son to prison for life, bro. It's no justification for that. What's up, kid, baby? I got you. Okay. Pull up now.
I'm not gonna never. I ain't gonna let you, man. You be in here fighting, boy. I ain't gonna. We be here fighting good as a motherfucker. You try to justify that. Just don't grab my ass like this. I'm gonna run through him like a hot knife through butter. That man ain't ready for no convict, man. I'm grabbing ass, name, everything to win. Not do that. And I ain't no homosexual, but that's gonna throw his mind off. Oh my God, I got my ass. Then whop him up top. Yeah, all that. I'm trying to crush him. Go ahead. But listen, you know, I'm never gonna justify that. Right. You know what I'm saying? But it was chess time. It wasn't checkers time. You know, I see Queso in jail. I asked Queso. I said, "Oh, you seen him?" I see him all. I see him all the time because. Oh, they had you on the same unit? No, the same dorm the dorm that I was in. Everybody went to the law library. Had to come by. Okay, my dorm. Okay. And I see him and I say, "Look, Queso." I say, "Look, bro."
What you talking about?
I called him Keeman. I never called him Queso. I say, "Look, him, get involved in your case." I say, "Your lawyer got 100 cases. You got one." Mm-hmm. I say, "Get involved in this case to see what's going on because I'm already involved. You know, I got paperwork this high. I'm already involved in the case. I'm already seeing the evidence. I'm already seeing what angle they're going with this case. I'm seeing everything, but I want them to see it. This is when I'm staying silent because I'm staying silent to see if they gonna free their daddy. Reason being, I'm thinking like, what you mean free? Like when you say free their daddy, meaning Queso and everybody else or the other co-defendants going free, like get you. Queso going to get me out of this because Queso the target. Exactly. Once you the target, you the target. Yeah, that's facts. And I'm staying solid at this point. So basically, you was looking for Queso to be like, to take ownership. I was looking for Queso. I was looking for Scotty. I was looking for Crazy K. I was looking for all of them. We know Butter wasn't gonna do it, so I'm looking for all of them too.
You look for anybody to get you out of the situation. You was looking for God. You was looking for Jesus. You was looking for Muhammad. You was looking for Buddha. That man was looking for he was looking for anybody. You bitch ass nigga, sit down and do your time. Nigga, fight the case like everybody else. Bitch boy.
All I needed was Scotty to say, yeah, he came and picked us up, but he didn't know what was going on. And you'd have been free. I would have fought that case all the way to the door with that. I took my lawyer and I said, look, man, go to Queso and them lawyer and man, let's all sit down and see how we gonna fight this. Queso and them don't understand that, bro. Your lawyer worked for you. And I had a couple strategies that the way I wanted to fight the situation. Mm-hmm. And when Queso and Crazy denied the sit down, they didn't have to say nothing. They could have just sat there and listened.
Man, this guy's weirdo. I'm mad they put the fucking interview on membership. Man, release the interview, man. God damn. Ain't nobody, you gonna make more money releasing it than you gonna make on membership. But that's how they run their platform. What you said the name was? Edrick Faust. Oh shit, we gotta find this. This you talking about right here, Trow? Lost you in murder. We gotta find a smaller video. He got found guilty. It was a white woman. Cold case. We gotta find a shorter video.
The search for Nancy Guthrie has gone international. We have learned the FBI has told federal Mexican law enforcement to tell various police agencies to be on the lookout for Nancy and her kidnapper. Now, our law enforcement sources are telling us that it is possible they believe that Nancy was taken across the border, but they doubt if she is across the border that it happened directly after the kidnapping. We're told that because we know now that the FBI checked cameras, Border Patrol cameras, and also other various electronic devices. We are asked not to be specific about that and they have come up dry. There is nothing showing any movement across the border where they suspect Nancy Guthrie was in that car. Now, that said, we're told that she could have been taken at some point after the kidnapping, a day or so later or 2 days later. They just don't know. And obviously, there is a way to get across the border undetected. But right now, they have put the word out, and so far, no luck. There is something else. TMZ obtained another ransom note today. This is a highly sophisticated demand involving a form of crypto, not Bitcoin. Now, it is demanding roughly the same amount as the demand letter we received, shortly after the kidnapping, the $6 million demand.
That lady dead,
it's not
man.
exactly that, but it's close to that. The demand graphically describes the consequences if the demand is not met. It also involves the media, saying that the media essentially becomes a go-between, a
Man, they playing the game with that. That lady is gone, man. They playing the game with that family, man.
if you will, for getting this.
And this is political, y'all. This whole situation is about politics.
Some money. We have been asked not to be specific about any of that beyond what we've just said. We have forwarded this on to the FBI, and they are looking into it. The email that we received today does not have the same crypto account as the crypto account in that first ransom letter that we received. A couple of other things. We told you yesterday that the FBI went around to various gun stores in the Tucson area with a list of names, trying to see if anybody on that list bought a gun at any of these shops. We were told, and we told you this yesterday, that the list was created by the people who had purchased a holster similar to the one that the kidnapper was wearing. The FBI had gone to Walmart and other retailers, created this list. We are told that this did not bear fruit, that so far it turned up nothing, that there was no match here. Somebody buying a gun and buying that holster, at least from that list. A couple of other things.
This shit probably gonna be gruesome, y'all. Just giving y'all a heads up. The details, whenever it come out, it's probably gonna be real gruesome.
The
Mr. Cater, what's up,
FBI
baby?
team, there is a team that is working
Mr. Cater in the building, y'all.
Just finding people who have bought items similar to the ones the kidnapper is wearing. They actually have a team contacting Walmart and other retailers, and their focus is finding matches, people who have bought more than one of these items, a backpack, a jacket, a holster, or anything else. Again, we are told that so far they do not have any real leads on that. So the bottom line, and this is a quote from a law enforcement source, we are shaking the trees looking for clues. So they are doing everything they can. There's one other thing that I was asked to mention, and that is something I know to be true. The FBI is really serious that anybody who is trying to get money from the Guthrie family with a phony demand letter is going to spend, as it was put to me, a long, long time in federal prison. The FBI does not mess around with things like that, and they are laser focused to find both the kidnapper and people who are exploiting the Guthrie family.
TMZ founder Harvey Levin is with us.
You sent it to my Instagram, y'all?
Hey guys, Lisa Figueroa here, board certified criminal defense attorney in Florida. Here today to talk to you about the Edrick Faust case. Not sure if you've heard of it, but so if you don't know, Cat Not Williams has a great channel where they live stream trials, and it caught my eye, this case about Edrick Faust. I hadn't heard about it, and if you haven't heard about it, this case involves a 23-year-old UGA law student that was alleged to have been murdered, sodomized, and fatally stabbed in her own home while she was a first-year law student. This happened in Athens, Georgia, and this was a cold case. So cold cases, police do everything they can to investigate the case, but they have no leads, or did they? Now, I got to watch the opening statements, and I'm always curious because opening statements lays out the case, and I heard the prosecution. I don't remember anything really significant from the prosecutor's opening statement. It's, we have this evidence, the DNA turns up 20-something years later, they get a hit on the CODIS.
We covered the case like this a couple months ago.
But they find DNA that matches, linked to Edrick Faust. That is the first time that they get any inkling of Mr. Faust. And I'm curious what the defense is. So when the defense attorney gets up, he makes the claim that his client is completely innocent. However, he doesn't really tell us anything about his client. And a lot of times in opening statement, I want to talk about my client. I want to personalize or
we covered a case like this not too long ago. Let's see the prosecution side first. It's shorter. We could probably put the speed on it.
She was strangled, and she was left for dead on her bedroom floor. Her bed was set on fire. A fire, ladies and gentlemen, that smoldered for a considerable amount of time before it finally erupted through the roof of the house that she shared with two friends at 160 Fawn Drive here in Athens, Clark County. On that morning, Tara's life ended. And what started was a 2.5-decade-long saga that has hung over the Baker family and hung over this entire Athens community like a specter. Ladies and gentlemen, this trial represents the final chapter in that tragic saga. The chapter will prove to you, beyond a reasonable doubt, that the defendant, Edrick Faust, is guilty of extinguishing the bright light.
How many years it took them to lock him up? 20?
Where the state
25 years
ago? Guilty
is
charged of the crimes in this indictment. So you've heard the indictment a few times by now. Judge Lott read it in its entirety at the beginning of jury selection. The judge also just went briefly over what the charges are again here this morning. I'm not going to spend too much time going through the indictment itself right now. There will be a time and a place for that at the end of the trial. But again, ladies and gentlemen, you know now that the defendant, Mr. Faust, is charged with 12 counts. Count 1, malice murder. Counts 2 through 5, felony murder. Count 6, burglary. Count 7, aggravated sodomy. Count 8, rape. Count 9, aggravated assault.
Yo, we covered a case just like this, show where it was a guy, he killed a couple. Y'all remember that case? That shit was crazy as a motherfucker. Probably like 5-6 months ago. It was similar to this. He met up with a gay guy, and he wound up killing a guy and his partner. And they got him like 30 years later. That trial was wild. Who remember we did a video on that a couple months ago?
Count 10, aggravated sodomy. Count 11, arson in the first degree. And count 12, possession of a knife during the commission of a felony. All those charges stem from the morning of January the 19th, 2001. And I expect that's going to become clear over the course of this trial. Ladies and gentlemen, these are obviously heinous crimes. And in order to prove them, and to prove that the defendant is the person who committed them, the state is going to have to present some very grisly evidence. And that's going to come in the form of both testimony and photos. Ladies and gentlemen, some of this trial is going to be difficult. But it's unfortunate, but it's necessary. I just wanted to give you a heads up. On January the 19th, 2001 at 11:22 a.m., Athens 911 started receiving telephone calls in the area of Deer Park regarding a fire at 160 Fallen Drive. Now, if you're not familiar with Deer Park, just to give you a little bit of reference, if we head, make sure I've got my orientation right, down Lexington Road, away from downtown, heading out towards Oglethorpe County, when you get past, Gaines School, Tuxton United Methodist Church is there on the left, right off Lexington, and the road immediately past Tuxton United Methodist Church, before you get to the Walmart, is Cooper Road. So again, heading that direction from downtown, left on Cooper Road, past the church. And then actually Deer Park, which is where Fallen Drive is located, is just on the right. And so when they get this call at 11:22 in the morning, the fire department is immediately en route. The firefighters actually kick in the door, the front door, to Tara's house, because it was locked. And when they did so, they encountered smoke in the main living room area of the house. And I'm gonna, in just a few minutes, not yet.
Yo, so if he did this and set the house on fire, like what evidence? You know, normally people set things on fire to destroy evidence. What evidence was they able to get 21 years later? You know what I mean? I don't really understand that.
What the inside of that house looked like. So these firefighters kick in the door, and the first thing that they notice, apart from the smoke, is back in the right corner, which is where the kitchen is located. Through the smoke, they can actually see the eyes of the stove. It's one of those old school stoves that has the circular heating element. They can see those glowing red. And so through the smoke, they go over there to the stove. They realize that the knobs that would turn on and off those eyes have actually been removed from the stove itself. And so the firefighters put those knobs back on and turn the stove off. They open the back door to the house to ventilate, to help start getting the smoke out of the room. To this point, I don't think they've completely ascertained exactly where the fire was coming from. The back left bedroom of the house, and there's actually a bathroom door right next to it, it'll make sense in a few minutes, are closed. And so they go over there, and they kick those doors in as well. And when they kick open that bedroom door, they are immediately met with flames rushing out over their heads. Firefighters enter and extinguish that fire. And in that moment, ladies and gentlemen, they discovered Tara. She's naked. She's in between the mattress and the footboard to her bed. The footboard had been ripped away from the bed frame itself. So she's in that little V-shaped space in between. They notice a computer cord, what appears to be a computer cord, is wrapped around her neck. And so realizing what they've seen, the firefighters back out and turn the scene over to the police. And law enforcement does arrive.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. What technology could they get? Like, fire burns, that destroys evidence. I'm gonna see. We're gonna listen to some of his testimony, then we're gonna listen to the defense.
And so what we have here, ladies and gentlemen, is a sketch made by Athens Clarke County Police as to the interior of 160 Fallen Drive. I won't spend but a couple minutes going over it. The front door here is at the bottom with the arrow pointing up. Again, you see the kitchen in the back right with the stove, which is what the firefighters reported seeing glowing red when they came in the door. And what I want to focus on is what's in the top left of that diagram. It's referred to as bedroom 3. That was Tara's room. And you can see bedroom 3 has a bathroom connected to it, and then there's a door leading both from the bathroom, a door leading to the living room, and one leading into Tara's room. So that's the basic layout of 160 Fallen Drive. You can see there's a back door, which again has the arrow pointing down, and right next to that is a window that is situated right above their dining room table. You're going to see photos that will also help kind of explain the layout of 160 Fallen Drive. So that's the house as a whole, and this is Tara's room as the police encountered it. And again, I've tried to explain, but I think this does a better job showing exactly the orientation of her body inside that bedroom in the back left of 160 Fallen Drive. So again, you can see the footboard having been ripped away from the frame and her body lying in between. So upon arrival, Athens Clarke County Police starts processing the scene. I expect you're going to hear from a number of witnesses that Tara's body, despite having obviously been in a room that was consumed by fire, her hair was actually still intact. I expect you're going to hear that several witnesses actually recall the smell of shampoo still coming from her hair. Again, there was a printer cord wrapped around her neck. I believe the printer itself was there in the room.
So he strangled her.
And there's one thing that the police noticed that firefighters hadn't, was that Tara actually had a stab wound to the right side of her neck. And I think it was on the diagram. The knife.
Yo, they gave that other case that we covered like this. They gave that man like 7 life sentences. How much time you called for that? It was like 7 life sentences plus like 200 something years. Like it was a crazy sentence, man.
Underneath her body with blood on it. Officers also noticed a clock on the wall in Tara's room. That clock had stopped at 9:32. In processing the scene,
Yeah,
officers
saying he
noted
was dead
that it
too.
appeared
That shit was
as if
crazy.
the doors and windows had been wiped clean. There's a screen to the back, that back window, the one that's right next to the back door, that showed signs of having been tampered with. Now, I expect there's probably going to be some confusion about exactly where that screen was when the firefighters arrived and when law enforcement arrived, but we'll get to that. Ladies and gentlemen, at 160 Fallen Drive, I submit that the evidence is going to show that any physical evidence that could have conceivably been helpful was collected. As an example, I think you're going to hear they even took the drain assembly out of her bathtub. A little bit more about the fire. I expect you're going to hear evidence that the bed, Tara's bed, was the source of that fire. And a little bit more, actually. I expect you're going to hear that there was a blanket that had been in the living room on the back of a recliner. That blanket had been removed from the recliner, taken over to the stove, set on fire, and then thrown on Tara's bed. I expect you're going to hear there's actually still some remnants of that blanket on the stove itself. In learning about the processing of the scene, I expect you're also going to hear that there were no fingerprints of any evidentiary value that were taken in the house or off of Tara's body. I expect you're going to hear that hairs were collected from her body and from her room. And I also expect you're going to hear that her laptop was missing.
So there wasn't no fingerprints. Don't tell me they found a
The next thing I
laptop.
want to talk a little bit about, ladies and gentlemen, is the canvas.
Don't tell me they found a laptop, yo. And since he had the laptop 20 years later, they say he committed the crime. They ain't what they did. I hope they ain't do that, yo. Because that'd be crazy.
Of the neighborhood. By canvas, I mean police getting out and knocking on doors and seeing what if anything, people had seen that morning.
Hey, Trout, they ain't do
was
that,
obviously
did
done
they?
in this case to a significant degree. I expect you'll hear one witness recalled seeing a white male running in the area, open area behind Tara's house and near Tara's house around 7:45 that morning. I expect you're going to hear multiple witnesses talk about describing a black male with an orange shirt or sweatshirt at various places in Deer Park around 8 o'clock to 8:15 that morning. I expect you're going to hear one witness who described smelling a faint odor of smoke as he was leaving for work around 8:40, 8:45 that morning. At the time, ladies and gentlemen, there's just not much to go on as it related to that canvas. The next thing I'd like to talk about is the autopsy. Tara's body was taken over to Atlanta to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation's Department of Forensic Sciences the next day, Saturday the 20th, her birthday. And an autopsy was conducted by a medical examiner named Dr. Edrick Faust. And here's where the evidence I submit made it get kind of difficult. There were photos that were taken at that autopsy. And you're going to see some of those photos when Dr. Faust testifies. It's going to be hard. You're going to see and hear about contusions surrounding Tara's vagina and anus. You're going to hear that stab
This a
wound
white
that the
girl
officers noted
and a
when they got
black guy.
into her bedroom had actually severed her jugular vein. You're going to hear about the ligature mark that was encircling her neck, and that her hyoid bone, which is a bone in your neck, had been broken. You'll hear about a subarachnoid hemorrhage to her head, which is indicative of blunt force trauma. You're going to hear about defensive type wounds to her hands. Dr. Falzon, after conducting the autopsy of Tara Baker, listed her cause of death as ligature strangulation and a stab wound, with another significant condition being blunt force trauma to the head. He ruled the manner of death, obviously, a homicide. As part of the autopsy, a sexual assault kit was taken, based on the way Tara's body was found, based on Dr. Falzon's observations. So a sexual assault kit involved oral, vaginal, and rectal swabs of Tara, and smears that were created based on those swabs. And I expect over the course of this trial, there's going to be a great deal made about how one of those swabs was mislabeled. I expect the state's going to be able to clear that up as this trial unfolds.
She had a boyfriend?
As part of the autopsy, head hair and pubic hair was retained, and fingernail and toenail clippings were taken. The next thing of significance that I'd like to talk about is some of the early forensics that were done in connection with this case. You're going to hear from Jennifer Corsi. At the time, back in 2001, Ms. Corsi was a forensic biologist at the GBI Crime Lab.
They
She
dirty
actually now
down
works
there.
at the U.S. Army's Criminal Investigation Laboratory, and she made a career out of this type of work. Ms. Corsi is the one who actually did chemical testing on that sexual assault kit, the one that we just talked about. You'll hear that her testing failed to reveal the presence of any seminal fluid, and that she took microscopic examinations of the vaginal smears and observed no spermatozoa or partially intact spermatozoa. And so, ladies and gentlemen, based on the existing technology and the existing protocols in existence back in 2001, there was nothing further that could be done with that sexual assault kit. I expect you'll hear that Ms. Corsi, Ben Fincher, so if I use both names, please forgive me, did confirm that the blood on Tara's fingernails, the only DNA on those fingernails belonged to Tara, that there was blood on the knife, and the DNA from that blood also only belonged to Tara. And there was no blood on the toenails that were taken.
Yo, so where's the evidence?
Not necessarily Ms. Corsi, but other forensics going on in the early days of the investigation. There were attempts to obtain fingerprints of any sort of evidentiary value, nothing to go on. I mentioned the hairs. Submit to you, there was nothing that would help in the investigation at that time.
Yo, so what changed, man? What changed?
I'm going to shift gears a little bit, talk a little bit more about Tara. In January of 2001, again, she's living at 160 Fawn Drive. She had 2 roommates. Ashley Peavy, now Ashley Hall. Valerie Lowe, now Valerie Lang. And I say that because, again, I might refer to them as both. Just wanted to get out in front and explain why that might be the case. So the 3 of them, Tara, Ashley, and Valerie, had moved into 160 Fawn Drive in August of 2000. All 3 of them were in grad school at UGA, but pursuing different programs. You know, Tara, obviously, was studying law. I expect you're going to hear evidence about Tara's morning routine. If she had a 9:30 class, which I expect you're going to hear she did that Friday, property law class on the 19th, then she was a pretty early riser. Up around 6:30 in the morning, first thing she'd do is take a shower. Expect you'll hear she'd come out and eat her breakfast. Every morning, same thing, cheese grits. And she'd come out and eat those cheese grits, her hair's still wet. And then she'd go back into her room and sit on the floor in front of her bed to blow dry her hair. And that took a while, ladies and gentlemen, because I expect you're going to hear Tara had a lot of hair. I expect you're also going to hear about how Tara was trying to buckle down in January of 2001. As that new semester at the law school had gotten underway, she was spending less time at home and more time at the law library.
His name,
But Saturday was her birthday. And on Friday night, she was going to go out and have some fun with some friends. They were going to go to the Winery, which is a bar downtown on Broad Street. I don't know if it's still there, but it was in 2001.
Edrick Faust.
Talk about Tara's last hours. Go through what we know about Tara on Thursday, January the 18th. We know that both Ashley and Valerie were leaving for the weekend. They were both leaving that Thursday. Ashley left late that afternoon. She and Tara had been at home together before Ashley left. We know that from approximately 7:30 to approximately 9:30, Tara was at the law library here on North Campus, not too far from the Arch. She's there with a friend named Katie Lonstein. Around 9:30 that night, Katie leaves, goes home. I think there was a discussion about, hey, call me when you get there, make sure you get home safe. And Katie indicated that she would do that, but she forgot. Why is that significant? Because Tara called her. Tara called her at 9:46 that night to make sure Katie had gotten home. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the last time that anyone is known to have spoken to Tara. Friday, again, January the 19th. I think it was kind of a cold, overcast, rainy day, kind of day that will show you that there is nothing to suggest their relationship was in a bad place. So I expect the evidence is going to show that at that time, Chris moved back in with his parents. When they both had a work life and other in Athens. Chris is still in Covington. And so they're still kind of, she went home, back home to the Lovejoy area. And for those of you who don't know, Lovejoy's off I-75 south of Atlanta. And she got a job at a law firm there. Chris didn't finish school.
That's the boyfriend, Chris?
In with his parents as well. That's in Covington. And Chris moved home. His mom told him he had to get a job. And so he got one. Chris became a plumber. And so at this time, Tara and Chris are in a long-distance relationship because Covington, Lovejoy, about an hour and a half apart, maybe a little bit less. Tara moved to Athens, I believe in 1999, when she got a job at a law firm here in town. So at that time, Tara's in Athens, Chris is still in Covington, and so they're still kind of doing the long-distance thing, right? Maybe not quite as long, but certainly not in the same town. And they found it hard to find time to get together. And so Chris moved to Athens. He got an apartment with a roommate at a place off Millage Avenue. And he was commuting back and forth to work. Most of his work was in the Loganville, Gwinnett County area. But I expect what you're going to hear is that Chris and Tara were trying to figure out how to have an adult relationship when they both had a work life and other things going on that they had to manage. As I mentioned before, Tara started law school in August of 2000. I expect you're going to hear that during that fall semester, that first semester, Ashley and Valerie are going to mention to you that Tara was spending a lot of time at Chris's apartment. Now, that doesn't mean Chris wouldn't come over to her house too. He did, maybe just not as often. But when they did, they'd spend the night at each other's house, both at Millage Avenue and at Fawn Drive. This is normal relationship stuff. Moving into the spring semester, January 2001. Now remember, Tara was trying to buckle down. More time in the library. Well, at that time, Chris also had good things going on. I mentioned that he had taken up plumbing. He was working for a company, but around this time, he started maybe thinking about going out and doing work on his own. You know, his business was mainly in the Loganville, Gwinnett area. And so at this time, he's using his truck, not a company one. It's his gas, his time spent commuting. And if he's traveling back and forth from Athens to Loganville every day, he's not making money. And the reason why I point all that out, ladies and gentlemen, because I expect the evidence is going to show that at that time, Chris moved back in with his parents in Covington. So he could spend more time working and less time traveling to and from. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I expect that others might have thought that the relationship between Chris and Tara was starting to fizzle. Again, I think the evidence is going to show that this was just a relationship between two young people whose presents and whose futures were still being figured out, with some highs and some lows, but nothing out of the ordinary. In fact, I expect you're going to hear that Chris has gotten Tara a very sentimental Christmas present just a few weeks prior to her death, and it made her really happy. He was going to come to Athens Saturday to celebrate Tara's birthday with her. Chris saw the potential for a future.
That nigga doing a hell of a job painting Chris out to be a fucking hell of a man. God damn. He saw it was 10 days before she was married, but they found his DNA in her also. Yeah, I see. I already see some bullshit going on. He make it seem like Chris on trial. Like, why the fuck are you spending so much time talking about Chris and how great of a guy he was or is?
Between them. Others may have made assumptions otherwise. But the bottom line, ladies and gentlemen, is evidence will show you that there is nothing to suggest their relationship was in a bad place. Let's talk about what Chris was doing on January the 19th of 2001. As I just got done explaining, he spent the night before, Thursday night into Friday, at his parents' house in Covington. And from 7:15 that morning until long after Tara's body is discovered, his whereabouts are accounted for.
He says what?
At 7:15 or thereabouts, a coworker.
He says his whereabouts is not important. Did he say that?
But the bottom line, ladies and gentlemen, is evidence will show you that there is nothing to suggest their relationship was in a bad place. Let's talk about what Chris was doing on January the 19th of 2001. As I just got done explaining, he spent the night before, Thursday night into Friday, at his parents' house in Covington. And from 7:15 that morning until long after Tara's body is discovered, his whereabouts are accounted for.
Oh, it's accounted for.
At 7:15 or thereabouts, a coworker named Josh McCurdy came over to Chris's house, Chris's parents' house, to be clear. And Josh was with Chris all day. There's a brief period of time around lunch, 1:30 to 2:30-ish, where they were not together. 1:30, obviously, after the fire on Drive. But other than that, they were together all day.
You got pictures of
Made
this?
numerous stops throughout the day. You're going to hear a little bit about some of those stops.
We got video footage?
Is that at 9:08 that morning, Chris went into a Wachovia.
Or is they just taking somebody's word?
In Loganville, Wachovia, for those of you who don't know, now Wells Fargo. And at 9:12 that morning, he withdrew $480 from the teller. I expect you're going to hear about some visits that he made to a place called Truck Customs. Remember, Chris is starting to do his own thing. He's got a truck. He's in the plumbing business. He needs a pipe rack. He needs a ladder rack. So he'd gone to this place called Truck Customs. First time, I think, maybe around 10 o'clock. Second time, later in the afternoon. And it's at that second trip to Truck Customs, ladies and gentlemen, where Chris gets a call from Tara's mother. Something's happened in Athens. You need to come over. Ladies and gentlemen, all those facts were established fairly early in the investigation. Now, you're going to hear about Chris's reaction when he got the call from Tara's mom about something happening in Athens, how Josh actually had to drive him in his own truck to Athens. And even with all of this, ladies and gentlemen, with those facts being established early in the investigation, Chris was always under the microscope as it related to Tara's murder. He was asked to give blood. He was asked to give a sample of his head hair. He was asked to give a sample of his pubic hair. Chris was subjected to repeated interviews by law enforcement. Every time anything's ever been asked of him, his answer's always been the same. Whatever you need. The evidence will show that Chris has been fully cooperative for over 25 years. I'm going to try and move a little bit quicker now because I think I'm taking longer than I intended. But there is a lot of other investigation going on in this case, ladies and gentlemen. This is a 20-plus-year-old case. The state is not going to present to you.
You got these cold cases, these get dicey. Whenever you grab somebody, 20, 15, 30 years later, that's you liable to make a mistake in that type of situation. Now, I don't know if this was a mistake or not. I'm just saying those cases be 50-50.
That was done over the course of this 23-year investigation. From a period of time, several months after Tara's death in 2001 until 2024, we're going to talk more about that soon, there was a lot of work being done on this case. But there was nothing that would point the police in the direction of Tara's killer. There are tens of thousands of pages of police reports, records, There are hundreds of hours of interviews.
That's why I said, do they got video proof of this? Because it sounds like they just taking somebody's word. You know, it sounds like something my alibi would say. Oh yeah, he was with me the whole day. I mean, the whole day. Yeah, he was with me. But they ain't even check out the details of the day.
It would take months to present all that in court, and we're not going to do it. And in so doing, we're not trying to hide.
Oh, so it's not even far away like you making the same.
Absolute impossibility to show you every lead that was chased down and every lead that became a dead end. About the dozens of persons of interest who were identified but ultimately ruled out. Hard work, frankly, just didn't result in any relevant evidence. One example, in 2010, the ligature, the printer cord, and the knife were retested for DNA. Not just the blood, to see if there was any touch DNA on those items. And once again, only Tara's DNA was found. I expect over the course of this trial, you're going to hear about some missteps and some unanswered questions. Remember that window frame I talked about earlier? Well, the window frame was obviously taken into evidence back in 2001. But now, 25 years later, it's missing. And it's unfortunate. But what is fortunate is that you're still going to hear about the processing of that Windows frame that was done back in 2001.
Fuck up. No, hell no. You can't. How you do that? If it's missing, how you gonna hear about the evidence? It's missing. It can't be verified. So that's bullshit right here. How you gonna testify about missing evidence? It's missing evidence. It's almost like it never happened.
There were no prints recovered. You'll hear that Tara's laptop, the one that I mentioned had been taken from her room, has never been found. And lastly, as far as unanswered questions go, I submit to you with evidence can show that no one investigating this case has been able to quite figure out exactly how the defendant got in and out of 160 Bond Drive. Was it the kitchen window with the frame that showed signs of tampering? Was it the back door? To this day, ladies and gentlemen, there's no definitive answer. And the state's not going to be able to show you the answer to that in this trial either. That fact is not necessary to prove the defendant's guilt.
What? This case gonna get tossed out, man. Yo, it's hella gaps. That's why I said, yo, when you lock somebody up 21 years later, it's hella gaps in this story, man.
But what is fortunate is that you're still going to hear about the processing of that Windows frame that was done back in 2001 and how, again, there were no prints recovered. You'll hear that Tara's laptop, the one that I mentioned had been taken from her room, has never been found. And lastly, as far as unanswered questions go, I submit to you with evidence can show that no one investigating this case has been able to quite figure out exactly how the defendant got in and out of 160 Bond Drive. Was it the kitchen window with the frame that showed signs of tampering? Was it the back door? To this day, ladies and gentlemen, there's no definitive answer.
I'm talking about on the appeal. So they don't even know how he got in there at all.
State's not going to be able to show you the answer to that in this trial either. That fact is not necessary to prove the defendant's guilt.
How?
And so again, with all this investigation going on and no leads being developed, the case goes cold. Something happened that changed all of that in 2023.
What happened? Yeah.
Something called the Coleman-Baker Act was signed into law by Governor Brian Kemp. In case you hadn't figured out, the Baker part of that act is named after Tara. This is a law designed to address cases exactly like this one, where all leads have been exhausted and no likely perpetrator has been identified. What the law does is it directs new eyes to be placed on the file. See if all appropriate forensic testing and analysis was done in the first instance, or if additional testing might produce evidence or information relevant to the investigation. And so at this point, enter into our story Agents Liz Bigham and Jeremy Howell with the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. Agent Bigham, Agent Howell are longtime agents with the GBI, and they joined that cold case unit after the law was enacted. In December of 23, they started looking at this case. And one of the first things they did was a dogged re-examination of all the physical evidence in Tara's case, including the sexual assault kit that had been taken at her autopsy. That kit was resubmitted for testing in February of 2024. And so, ladies and gentlemen, lots changed about DNA and the way DNA is tested from back in 2001. I expect you're going to hear that the sensitivity of that testing has improved greatly. And so, in February of 24, the crime lab was able to find first male DNA and then obtain a DNA profile from item 2I. It's going to get confusing. We can clear all this up later about the names of those items. 2I is labeled oral swab B. It's pretty confusing. And so, upon further testing of 2I, what they do is they separate the DNA into what's called fractions. I'm not going to get too much into the details of it now, but the idea is you're trying to separate the female DNA from the male DNA. 2I, the oral swab. B, the first fraction is a match to Tara Baker. In the second fraction, there's a partial major profile of male DNA. And that DNA is not Tara Baker and is not Chris Melton. In case I haven't been clear, when I refer to a profile, what I'm, for lack of a better term, talking about is a DNA fingerprint. So when I talk about profiles, that's what I mean. But that profile, that partial major profile from item 2I, was eligible to be submitted into something called CODIS, C-O-D-I-S. That stands for the Combined DNA Index System. CODIS is a national database of known DNA profiles. I think that as of November last year, there are about 26 million known profiles in CODIS. And once that profile from item 2I was uploaded into CODIS, the way it works is it is routinely compared against the 26 million known profiles to see if any leads could be developed. On April 30th, 2024, there was a hit. And it was that DNA, again, matched from item 2I, and that hit was to the defendant, Edrick Faust. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the first time in 23 years and tens of thousands of pages.
Yeah, that is crazy, Mr. Cater. All right, he had sex with her. Dude, that don't mean he killed her. Like, hold the fuck up, y'all. Ain't no way. They gotta have more. Oh, they say if people see him in the area. Oh, well, that don't mean nothing either. It gotta be more than that, y'all. It gotta be more than just DNA that he had sex with this girl 21 years ago. For them to find him convicted of fucking rape and sodomy and murder and all that shit. It gotta be more than just that.
Wow, that Mr. Faust's name shows up. So what do we know about Mr. Faust? He lived at 350 Cooper Road, and we talked about Cooper Road earlier. You can see it there. It's actually at the top of this picture. The star represents 160 Vaughn Drive. I'll get more into that in just a minute. Cooper Road, again, at the very top, going horizontally.
Oh, wow, so he
in
made
the picture.
that up then.
If you were to go left on Cooper Road, that's where you're going to run into Lexington Road, just to give you some orientation. Mr. Faust is living at 350 Cooper Road. 350 Cooper Road, ladies and gentlemen, is literally 585 feet from 160 Vaughn Drive.
So what?
So, next, what happens? Agents Bigham and Howell obtain a warrant to get Mr. Faust's buccal swabs, cheek swabs. And the purpose of that is to get a known sample of his DNA. CODIS, only lead, you got to confirm it. And again, the first fraction from oral swab B, Tara's profile, it's always Tara's profile, vaginal, oral A, oral B, we'll clear that up later. Always Tara's DNA in that first fraction. And in that second fraction, you're going to hear about there being two profiles, but the major profile, the partial major profile from item 2I was a match to Edrick Faust. And that match, I might mess up the wording of it, was 1 in 800 quadrillion.
I have objection, Your Honor. And I have a motion.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have you go back into the jury room. Don't discuss the case. Thank you.
Yo, ain't no way, y'all. Ain't no way they just booked y'all because he had sex with this girl, man. Ain't no fucking way. They said they saw a black man, but he wasn't doing anything suspicious, and he had on bright colors. That doesn't sound like a person trying to get away with committing a crime. Yo, they be doing.
This interview, the evidence is going to show that this is pretty conversational nature between the defendant and Agents Bigham and Howell. And then at the end, they tell him what the charges were for. Agent Howell actually says, and he's referring to Tara here, "Don't you remember? It was kind of a big deal." Agent Howell offers, "If you can help us understand why your DNA is in that house, help us. I'm here to exonerate just as much as I am to hunt." And you'll hear the defendant's reaction.
Oh, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the beginning of my opening remarks, I talked about how this trial represents the final chapter in a long, sad saga for both the Baker family.
You must have missed something.
And you're going to see, frankly, during this interview, the The evidence is going to show that this is pretty conversational nature between the defendant and Agents Bigham and Howell. And then at the end, they tell him what the charges were for. Agent Howell actually says, and he's referring to Tara here, "Don't you remember? It's kind of a big deal." Agent Howell offers, "If you can help us understand why your DNA is in that house, help us. I'm here to exonerate just as much as I am to hunt." And you'll hear the defendant's reaction. Ladies and gentlemen, at the beginning of my opening remarks, I talked about how this trial represents the final chapter in a long, sad saga for both the Baker family and for the Athens community. For decades, everyone who loved Tara wanted to know who killed Tara Baker. Ladies and gentlemen, Edrick Faust killed Tara Baker. Edrick Faust sexually assaulted Tara Baker. Edrick Faust set her house on fire.
Yo,
and now,
hold up, yo, yo, what? Yo, how he just jumped to that conclusion like that? Yo, based off of DNA evidence that he had sex with this girl, they just jumped all the way to he did all of these things to her? Yo, fuck no, yo, we gotta be missing something, yo. Hold on, maybe I got. Let me play it again. Maybe I missed something.
This interview, the evidence is going to show that this is pretty conversational nature between the defendant and Agents Bigham and Howell. And then at the end, they tell him what the charges were for. Agent Howell actually says, and he's referring to Tara here, "Don't you remember? It's kind of a big deal." Agent Howell offers, "If you can help us understand why your DNA is in that house, help us. I'm here to exonerate just as much as I am to hunt." And you'll hear the defendant's reaction. Ladies and gentlemen, at the beginning of my opening remarks, I talked about how this trial represents the final chapter in a long, sad saga for both the Baker family and for the Athens community. For decades, everyone who loved Tara wanted to know who killed Tara Baker. Ladies and gentlemen, Edrick Faust killed Tara Baker.
What?
Edrick Faust sexually assaulted Tara Baker.
What?
Edrick Faust set her house on fire. And now,
hey, yo,
the final chapter
this is crazy.
begins today. But the last few pages of this story haven't been written. At the end of the trial, we're going to hand you the pen. And you, the jury.
Hey, yo, hold the fuck up, yo. No, yo. No, man. No. It gotta be more to that. Hold up, we gotta go to the defense. Ain't no way. Ain't no way.
My name is Attorney Ahmad Cruz, and I have the privilege and the honor of standing beside Mr. Edrick Faust during this case. First and foremost, I want to thank you all for your sacrifice. And how horrible of a boyfriend he may have been, that's not evidence in regards to speculation, not with sensationalized media coverage, and not with, and the witnesses say, hey, he's just walking normally through the neighborhood. Is he looking around suspicious? No. Is there anything unique about him? No. Actually, when I pulled out my car to get out the driveway,
he lived in the neighborhood. So he wasn't just walking around. He lived in the neighborhood.
He stopped for me.
I'm gonna go back some more.
Body. We're going to talk about then I'd like to talk about with you the initial investigation in this case. This investigation, when it came to Mr. Faust, that is an initial investigation.
More than that, man.
But this investigation, when it came to Mr. Faust, you may decide that this is one of the most thorough investigations in Georgia history. In fact, you will learn that this investigation reached a level of desperation. And at the end of this trial, you're going to have questions that the state is not going to be able to answer. And I believe during the state's opening, they admitted one, which is they cannot present evidence to you, or they cannot answer the question of how Mr.
Yo, what town is this in, y'all? What town in Georgia is this in? What's the demographics? What town is this in, man? What is the demographics in Athens, Georgia?
Athens, Georgia has a population of around 127,000 to 128,000. The demographics include roughly 57 to 69% white, 18 to 26% black, and a growing 7 to 9% Hispanic.
All right, so Clark County. What's the demographics in Clark County, Georgia?
Clark County, Nevada, which
No.
includes Las Vegas.
What's the demographics in Clark County, Georgia?
9 million people. Clark County, Georgia, has a population of about 129,000 to 130,000. The area has a young population, with a median age around 29. The demographics include roughly 57 to 64% white residents and 18 to 26% black residents, along with high poverty rates.
I guarantee if we was like really look into that shit, they probably be locking niggas up like a motherfucker down there.
Would have gotten into Miss Baker's home. They also can't answer the question of when did Mr. Faust's DNA get in Miss Baker's body. They don't know.
You probably put it there.
They won't be able to answer the question, how would Mr. Faust get away from Miss Baker's home unseen at the time of the morning that they said he committed this crime? The evidence will show that in Deer Park, black people simply walking were reported. In fact, on January 19th, 2001, the day Miss Baker passed away, there were 3 individuals reported, two, but one person was reported twice. It was a black male. He had a afro, and he was wearing a bright orange shirt. And the witnesses say, hey, he's just walking normally through the neighborhood. Is he looking around suspicious? No. Is there anything unique about him? No. Actually, when I pulled out my car to get out the driveway, he stopped for me. So the state won't be able to answer if they're reporting individuals walking through the neighborhood. How did Mr. Faust get away unseen in the middle of the morning? And the last question that the state won't be able to answer for you. If Mr. Faust killed Miss Baker, why was the hair that was found on her body, around her body, in her hand, and on the murder weapon of Caucasian origin? You will hear evidence in this case that there is not a shred of evidence that puts Mr. Faust, let alone a black person, in Miss Baker's home.
Wow.
All of the evidence, including the gift Miss Baker left in her hand for police, it's Caucasian hair. Now, the state, these questions have to be answered with evidence, not speculation, not with sensationalized media coverage, and not with unsupported conclusions. These are questions the state must answer for you with evidence and proof. The state may spend a lot of time talking about Mr. Faust's DNA. That is not an issue in this case. DNA is not an issue in this case. But they may spend a lot of time talking about Mr. Faust's DNA being present among, as they presented to you, the multiple DNA profiles that were found and identified.
Yo, but that's but that's crazy, yo. That's crazy. Even if his DNA was found inside her, yo, that don't mean he killed her. If you question somebody about their whereabouts from 20 years ago, like, yo, I don't even know how you even, what the fuck do you say? Like, even if they was to interrogate him and his question or his answers don't make sense, you would think that'd be normal if you asked him about something that happened 21 years ago.
Find yourself asking this question at the end of the state's presentation of evidence. How does Mr. Faust's DNA simply being in Miss Baker's body, along with someone else's DNA profile, establish that he is the person
Right.
that killed Miss Baker?
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. That is crazy,
And
man.
this is why you all are here today. This is why we are here today. We're not here to talk about, and the state is going to present this type of evidence. We're not here to talk about how bad of a person Mr. Faust may have been, how horrible of a boyfriend he may have been. That's not evidence in regards to what they must present to you
talking
to
about the
prove
boyfriend.
that
You said
Mr.
the boyfriend
Faust
did
is
it.
the individual that committed these acts that they've chosen to charge him with in the indictment. We're here to talk about and find out whether the state's evidence proves beyond a reasonable doubt that Mr. Faust committed the crimes that he's charged with. That's it. That is why we are here. And in this trial, the question is not who killed Miss Baker. That is not the question that anyone is asking you to determine. But again, the question is simply, does the state's evidence that they present to you prove that Mr. Faust, proves beyond a reasonable doubt that Mr. Faust is the person responsible for burglarizing Miss Baker's home? He's charged with burglary in the indictment, sexually assaulting Miss Baker, and killing Miss Baker. That's the sole question you have to answer. Not who did it, just does the state's evidence support beyond a reasonable doubt that Mr. Faust is the person that committed this crime. And that's the key issue in this entire case. And you may get distracted by emotion in this case. You may get distracted by your dislike of Mr. Faust's life choices. But you cannot lose focus, and you cannot forget why we are here today. You are here on a murder, a rape, an aggravated sodomy, and a burglary case. You're going to learn that this is not a case of stranger on stranger violence, but rather a case of interpersonal violence. Interpersonal relationship violence. But you cannot be distracted. You can't be distracted. The reason we all chose you is because we thought you were the best jurors to sit on this case. You would not be distracted by emotion, and you would let the law guide you and come to a just decision. The death of a person is a horrible, horrible tragedy, and no one in this courtroom would tell you otherwise. We are not the media. We don't have the opportunity to speculate and draw in viewers. We don't have the opportunity to sensationalize this case of Miss Baker's life. And that's what we're going to talk about during this trial, is Miss Baker's life. We're going to show you what Mr. Faust looked like in the year 2000. This is Mr. Faust in the year 2000. He looks completely different than he looks now. What we put an emphasis on, and what you'll hear in evidence, is this is how Mr. Faust carried himself. He was a very well-dressed, clean-cut individual. He wore jewelry. He drove nice cars. We expect the evidence to, we expect the evidence to show that. We're also going to show you a picture of Mr. Faust on February 8th, 2001, which is about 2 or 3 weeks after Miss Baker's death. This is Mr. Faust about 3 weeks after Miss Baker's death. Without a haircut, obviously, without his jewelry in, but this is a picture of Mr. Faust. And the evidence will show this is how Mr. Faust looked after Miss Baker's death. In 2001, the evidence will show that Mr. Faust was a 25-year-old bar-hopping playboy. You will hear from some of Mr. Faust's ex-girlfriends. Particularly, the state will call Miss Brenda Sweeney. And you will learn in this case that the state, Miss Elizabeth Bigham, she will testify that she's reviewed every single document in this case file. And based on her review of that information, what you will learn is that Mr. Faust did not stay at 350 Cooper Road. Mr. Faust actually stayed in Knollwood Apartments with his girlfriend, Miss Brenda Sweeney at the time. And this is information that the state has had before today and during the entire pendency of this case. So what happened? That's the question that we're here to figure out. What happened with Miss Baker? This is Miss Baker shortly before she passed. This is her law school photo that she took while she was a student at the University of Georgia. And these are Chris Melton's hands after Miss Baker's death. So Miss Baker was...
Hold the fuck up. Yo, hold up, y'all. Why his hands look like that, y'all? Yo, what was his excuse, Trell? Where was his excuse for his hands looking like this? Motorcycle accident or something? No, rock climbing, fell down, you know, what? How his hands get like that? He get dragged by a car or some shit? What the fuck? He punched the wall 30 times? What's that shit? He try to hog tie a bull. You know how they be doing the shit with the bull, jumping on the bull and shit? like, yo, come on. How the fuck your hands get like this, bro? Yo, this is crazy.
Killed on January 19th, 2001. These photos were taken on January 21st, 2001.
2 days later.
This is Mr. Melton's left hand. This photo, these are Mr. Melton's right hand. During this trial, you will learn the nature of Miss Baker's death. It was an overkill. And what we mean by that, it was terrible. That's the best word I could use. It was terrible. It was a horrible death. Miss Baker was not only unalived, but the person who did this to Miss Baker, they beat her, they punched her over and over and over again. And you will hear from the medical examiner the injury she had to her face.
Yo,
her eyes were
hell no,
swollen
yo.
and blackened.
Yo, how did he
And
explain
then this
that?
individual, and we don't know the order, but this individual, this sick individual, then took Miss Baker's printer cord and wrapped it around Miss Baker's neck. And he laid on top of Miss Baker as he pulled the opposite ends of that printer cord, strangling her.
Yeah, that's personal, y'all.
That individual, at some point, again,
That's
we
personal.
don't know the order that this took place, but these are the things that took place. This individual at some point walked to Miss Baker's kitchen, pulled out a knife out of her knife block, and then stabbed Miss Baker in her neck. And you will hear that Miss Baker was stabbed on the right side of her neck. This wasn't enough for this individual. This individual then went into the living room of the home, took Miss Ashley Hall's chenille blanket off of the couch, went and turned on the eye of the stove. They put the blanket on the stove, and when this blanket caught ablaze, what occurred was this person walked back into Miss Baker's room while Miss Baker laid on the floor, still grasping her hair.
We gotta get back in front of the mic, bro.
He places this blanket on the bed, and then this person takes your laptop. You will hear back in 2001, laptops, cell phones now are like laptops. Back in 2001, laptops were like cell phones. We have all your personal information. But this person takes her laptop, he then closes her door, locks it, goes to her bathroom door. You saw a picture of it in the States opening. Closes the bathroom door, locks it, and takes his time to clean up Miss Baker's house. As the state mentioned in their opening, this person wiped down the door. This person wiped down the stove handles. This person wiped down the back door. This person wiped down the windows. And when firefighters, obviously fired a couple of hours later, the fire burst through the roof.
Yo, probably did that shit because she was fucking off. That's probably what really happened. Yo probably caught her fucking off and zapped out.
Both locked. And the type of doors you'll learn that Miss Baker had, the top lock has a key that you can put in. You have to unlock it to unlock the deadbolt. The bottom lock from the inside, you can just twist it. They have to kick in the front door. It is deadbolt locked. And the back door. There's so much smoke, and the state said this in their opening. There's so much smoke in the house. The firefighter goes to the back door to unlock the door, and the deadbolt is locked on the back door. But what you will hear is that when firefighters found Miss Baker, the individual that did this to her, this was somebody she was comfortable being naked around. The state is not going to present any evidence that clothes were ripped off of her. The state is not going to present any evidence that clothes were found near her. The state is not going to present any evidence that a towel was around her. She was completely nude. No clothing around her body at all. Now, while this is, you don't leave the watch where your life is going to take. The evidence we intend to present is that Miss Baker was scratching at this individual's hands while he was trying to strangle. While he was choking him, Miss Baker was trying to get him off. While he was choking him, Miss Baker was grabbing his hair, trying to get him off. And the forensics evidence, and we'll get into the forensics, I won't go there now, but the forensics evidence will support that Miss Baker was fighting for her life. Now, I mentioned the back door, that the back door was deadbolt locked. You will hear from a young lady by the name of Miss Kishana Armstrong. She's Miss Baker's.
Yo, he fucking up by keep leaving that mic, man. You gotta take the mic with you, bro. Fucking up.
Armstrong is going to tell you. This is Chris Melton, back in 2001. Ms. Armstrong is going to tell you that she can't remember her hairstyle. I can't remember her hairstyle. But I do vividly remember this person's hair color. And what you'll learn is police never even asked her the hair color. They don't even ask her. When they interviewed her 20 years ago, they don't ask her about the hair color. Only thing they ask her, how tall is the person? What age group does he look like he was in? And she'll say he looked like he was in his 20s. He had kind of like a medium athletic type of build. And they're aware that Miss Baker's.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't even. Yo, it's like they just jump. I don't even understand. It's like they charged and convicted him of murder just because they so-called found DNA inside of her. Yo, that doesn't mean nothing. He could have had sex with her earlier that day. Or the day before, however long DNA stays in the person. It's like they don't, in their opening statements, they didn't explain how he supposedly committed this crime. Yo, you can't say just because he may have had sex with this girl that he killed her. And that's basically what it looked like they did. But this man, 2 days later, looked like he put his goddamn hand in the motherfucking what you call that shit when them trash compactors. You know what I mean? Like he put his hands in the shredder and he never was arrested. Yeah, that is crazy, man. When you hear the gruesome details of this girl's death and look at his hands 2 days later, you would thought that'd have been a fucking case closed. I wonder what's his political affiliation. Who his father is, grandfather. That's what motherfucker really need to find out.
A photo of Chris Melton.
Oh,
you will learn in this case that law enforcement ignored Miss Armstrong for 25 years. We had to reach out to Miss Armstrong. Once Mr. Faust was arrested, Miss Armstrong was no longer needed. Crime of opportunity. I told you that I would talk about how this crime is a crime of opportunity. During this trial, one of the most important facts that you all will learn is that Miss Baker did indeed have two roommates. One of her roommates is Dr. Valerie Lowe. I believe you heard about her from the state.
Yo, he keep leaving the mic.
Then she went by Mrs. Miss Valerie Lane to school. And also Mrs. Ashley Peavy Hall. At the time of this case in 2001,
I figured he had to have some type of record.
You will learn that each girl had a boyfriend, and we are counting Miss Baker and Mr. Melton. So at any given time, you will learn that there were 6 people in the house. And it was very rare, in your testimony, very rare that someone would be at the house alone. However, on January 18, 2001, being great roommates, Dr. Lowe tells Miss Baker, hey, I'm not going to be home. I'm leaving town. I think she was going somewhere with her boyfriend, so she was going to be out of town. Miss Ashley Peavy Hall tells Miss Baker the exact same thing. And you will hear testimony about Miss Baker's response. What you will know is that Miss Baker was home alone. What you will also hear is that Miss Baker and Chris Melton spoke the day before her death 5 times. There was a 22-minute call. There was a 5-minute call. There was a 19-minute call. And there was 2 other short calls the day before her
So he
death.
convicted him off his past.
Between Miss Baker and Chris Melton. And when law enforcement asked Chris Melton the day of the crime, or the day close to the crime, hey, did you know that Miss Baker was going to be by herself? He said, of course not. He said, of course not. I didn't know that. She wouldn't have told me anything like that. But I do remember me telling her that I wouldn't be able to come down to Athens and spend the night with her.
Oh, he already did. Look.
And police do this as part of their investigation tactics. Police asked him again, hey, do you remember if Miss Baker told you that she was going to be home alone by herself the day before she died? Chris Melton then tells law enforcement, I don't remember. So a question that you will have to ask, maybe a question that you will have, is if your future fiance told you she was going to be by herself and died the next day, is that a fact that you will forget? You will also learn about the nature of their relationship.
It's crazy.
Dr. Lowe will tell you that Ms. Baker and Mr. Melton, the first semester of law school, like this. They're really tight, really close. Mr. Melton will probably testify that if there are 7 days in a week, 5 of those days, him and Ms. Baker would be together. And this is first semester. But you'll hear from Dr. Lowe that on New Year's Day of 2001, she came home and to her surprise, Miss Baker was home alone. And she talked to Miss Baker about it and she asked her about it. Ms. Baker gave a response. I think it's that. But Dr. Lowe will say there was a change in relationships from that day up until the time Tara had died. They were not spending as much time together as they used to. But you'll also hear from Miss Baker's best friend. And I say best friend because Chris Melton
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Mr. King.
That
Who the fuck his family is?
Mrs. P.B.R. Hall was Tara Baker's best friend. She described the relationship to law enforcement as it's pretty much like watching the normal ending of a relationship.
Which means it was fighting.
Law enforcement asked Mr. Melton about the relationship. Mr. Melton says, "Oh, everything was fine. She was my borderline fiance when we were about to get married." It wasn't until 5 months later, in June, when law enforcement approached Mr. Melton and said, "Chris, we heard about a fight that you and Tara had the week before her death. Do you know about that?" And for the very first time, he admits that there was trouble in paradise. He says, "Oh, yeah, I know about it. It wasn't a big deal. It was something minor." Now, in the evidence that was provided to us, it wasn't provided to us. You'll learn that we don't have any information on what that fight was about except what Chris Melton said it was about. But it also matches up with Chris Melton's timeline. Chris Melton, when he interviewed with police in 2024, he told law enforcement that he had not seen Tara Baker in 10 days. Okay? That is a very important number. He said that I had not seen Tara Baker in 10 days. That 10 days lines up.
But not really. I mean, like, all right, DNA is hard to get past if you got supporting evidence. It's like basically they convicted him off DNA in his criminal history. That's what the sign he got convicted of. DNA in his criminal history. Yo, but if you look at the boyfriend Haynes, like I think that was all you need to see. How the fuck did his hands? Yo, let's see what happened when they questioned him. I know they asked him about them damn hands. How the fuck did his hands get like that?
I was present. Special Agent Liz Bigham was present, and Edrick Faust was present for that.
At the time that the interview was done, had Mr. Faust been placed under arrest?
Yes.
Okay. And Your Honor, for the record, at this time,
railroaded this man.
Seek to publish in chronological order the timestamps that I previously mentioned to the court and defense counsel.
All right, you may proceed.
And I'm starting at 6:03:55.
Why not play the whole interview?
Hey, how are you? Good, Miss Faust? Hey, I'm Liz Bigham. I'm with the GBI. This is Jeremy Howard with the GBI. You want to take those off right now? We need to sit, talk to you and do some things. Are you going to act right? Are you sure?
Everybody white.
Do you have my handgun keys back in there? I can go grab it. Do you have one on you? Okay. Can you use some water or anything?
I had an all-white Jordan.
You use restrooms?
I'll just use
I'm sorry?
I use the restroom.
Oh, you just use restrooms. Okay.
You got the right? Right. Let's go down this a ways. There it is. Sorry for that. There you go.
All right. So there's a little bit of paperwork we gotta do first. I need to get some information from you, obviously name and all that stuff. And then we'll kind of go from there. Go ahead. So you've got, I think it's about 9 warrants that we've got for you today. I'll explain everything to you. Let me get this filled out and stuff, and then we'll go over everything together, okay? I mean, obviously, we're going to want to talk to you about this stuff, and we can kind of go into all that, but we gotta get through this first. All right? Edrick or
fuck around planted that man DNA on that girl, man. They fuck around planted that DNA, man. Just to solve this crime. So this is one of them situations where I be talking about, yo, like, yo, these people will do anything, man. He probably got a fucked up criminal history, like y'all said. They found out he lived in the area, and they fuck around planting his DNA on that girl, man. They'd do that. For people that think that's far-fetched, yo, they will do that, man. That's what it sounds like they did in this case. They probably never even had sex with this girl. Probably don't even know her. Like, is there any history that he even knew this girl at all? Was there any proof that he even knew this girl? Men in passing. Wow.
350 Cooper Road. 350 Cooper Road? Correct. Okay. That's in Athens? Yes. Okay. 30605? Yes. Okay. Okay. How hard are you going to school, Mr. Faust? I graduated high school diploma. High school diploma? Yeah. Okay. Six shows? Actually, I went to 2 shows, but I went back to continue. I got a diploma in another school. Okay. Get another further down the road. Gotcha. All right, you ready tonight? You assuming? Okay, so let's go over this together. All right, it's 6:06 now. So today is May 9th, 2024. The time is 6:06 p.m., and we're at the IRO ACCPD, but Athens Clark County Police Department. Your name is Edrick Faust, and you are 48 years old. Your address is 350 Cooper Road, Athens, Georgia, 30605, and you completed the 12th grade in school. Yes. You know that Liz Bingham, which is me, and Jeremy Howell over there are special agents with the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. Okay. All right? You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him present with you while you're being questioned. If you can't afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you before any question if you wish. And you can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements. Do you understand all of that? I do. Okay. And you understand your rights and having these rights in mind, you're willing to talk to law enforcement officers, which are Jeremy and I. You've not been threatened. Has anyone threatened you in any way, shape, or form in law enforcement? Nobody threatened you? I know we weren't there when they arrested you, so I just want to make sure that nobody out there threatened you in any way. You've not been promised anything. Has anyone ever promised you anything in reference to this? And then if you've been forced in any way to answer any questions or make any statements, maybe decide what's your name, whatever. Okay. So if we really talk to us, you can sign right there. I'll sign underneath you, and Jeremy will sign underneath.
He probably only signed his Miranda rights over because he probably thought, I ain't got nothing to hide. I'm going to go ahead and talk to these people and I'm going to get out of this bitch. That's probably what he thought. But he should have definitely just said, man, I need a lawyer. I don't even know what the fuck y'all talking about right now. Here they go. Trying to play like they're your friend and shit. Oh no, what happened? Bitch, get to the point. We ain't over here so you can hear my motherfucking life story and all the pain and heartbreak I didn't experience. What the fuck am I here for?
This is your stepmother, you said? Yeah, I'm sorry.
And what is her name?
Her name was Geraldine Hughes.
Geraldine Hughes?
Man, it shouldn't even have been no trial, Al.
So are you still living there? Did she own it?
Yeah, she owned her home, yeah.
Okay. Are you still living there?
I'm kind of like floating. I've been living with my cousin here, so.
Where does your cousin live?
I've been living in Overflow County.
Oh, yeah. They sure the fuck is. So they got a history of railroading black people.
Where do you lay your head at night?
Well, I've been really just living here and there. I've been here and there and just girl house over here and over there.
Over here and over there, the girl's house. Yeah. All right. So where's the girl live? And where you don't
That's fine. We don't have to. And what's your date of birth?
9/6/85.
Okay. And you're employed, I'm assuming, in Athens Finance?
Correct.
Is that your business, or do you just work for them?
My business.
It's your business? What do you do there? Besides mobile detailing, pressure washing?
That's what I do.
Pretty much that?
Cool.
Do you have, like, regular work, or is it just contracted work here and there?
I do regular work, whatever.
Man, come on with the small talk, man.
All right.
I want the small talk.
Or who lived at Cooper Road with you?
At Cooper Road.
Uh-huh.
Actually, back then, 20 years ago, May 28, 2003.
No, 23 years ago. We're talking about 2000.
Why they keep cutting it out?
It was obviously Miss Hughes, right?
I was living with her, yes.
Okay.
I don't know what relationship I was in or who I was with back then.
Okay. So Miss Hughes lived there.
Yes.
Did you have any brothers or sisters?
My brothers and sisters.
Okay.
My dad was alive back then, yeah.
But was he a Cooper, or did he live in another?
My dad has been around. He's just been around here and there, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Who else lived in the house with you? Who lived with y'all back then?
As far as I know of.
Just y'all two?
Yeah.
Okay. And she was your stepmama?
My stepmom.
Where's your real mama?
She passed away 6 years ago.
Oh, okay. You weren't ever really close to her. You were close to your stepmama?
Actually, I've been cool with my stepmom. She raised me with.
And Your Honor, I'm stopping at 6:15:05, and we are going forward to 6:50:30.
Skip 30 minutes? What the fuck happened in that 30 minutes? Oh, I was skipping.
Were you there when they were building it and stuff like that?
Yeah. I was in the area. I'm always in that area. I go in that area every day.
Do you really?
Yeah. I call it my home. That's considered my home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you physically live in Cooper?
Yo, this is wrong, yo. Look how forthcoming he is. Yo, this man is not guilty. Like, he made it very clear. Like, I'm in that area every day. You know, if he was trying to hide something, he would have said, you know, I live around, you know, I don't really frequent it that often. You know, I might come through there every now and then. This doesn't sound like a man that's trying to hide anything so far. When you're trying to hide something, you don't be forthcoming with information. You don't volunteer information when you got something to hide.
Like Cooper Road, you can go right now and everybody will know me. No, I meant in the house. Like at 350, you don't physically live there anymore. Okay. Did it get passed down to you? Or?
Well, my stepmother passed away.
Okay.
When she passed away, but she got sick. She told me she didn't need me anymore. Her niece lived in Rock Spring. She ended up getting the house. She bought the house from her, and she ended up moving up to Willow Miss across the street over here.
Okay.
And she lived over there when she passed away.
So nobody in your family lives there.
It's her niece live in the house right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
She just passed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So when that neighborhood was being, or development was being built, I guess, did you ever go walk around there, or?
Yeah, see, yo, he posed it.
Built for, I guess.
Off the rip, before he answered any questions, he put him like, yo, what is this about? What are we, like, you asking me about something that where I was at 23 years ago. Like, how they make him sign his Miranda rights without telling him what he was there to talk about first. Like, I don't even think that's protocol. Let me see. Do detectives have to notify you of your charges before your Miranda rights?
Detectives aren't required to tell you the charges before reading your Miranda rights. These rights only apply when you're in custody and being questioned about a crime which is called custodial interrogation. Voluntary statements made before being read your rights can be used in court.
So he's not. So basically, what they're saying is he's not in custody yet. So that's how that's the little loopholes they got. Or he's not actually in custody. You know, so we can you know, we ain't gotta read him. We ain't gotta read him his Miranda rights off the rip before we tell him the charge because he ain't in custody. It's called they call it a custodial interrogation. If they're not required to Miranda rights, you immediately upon arrest. Miranda rights are only required prior to custodial interrogations. I mean, well, I think wouldn't this classify as a custodial interrogation? But they ain't got him in cuffs, so he's technically not arrested. Okay, I get it.
Was it mostly like college students, or was it regular people, older average people, older people?
It was real self, but now it's not like that anymore. It's like real, like right now it's like a family together. To be honest with you.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, it's pretty rough over there.
Why is it rough over there?
It seems like everybody that got pulled from the other side of town, they start getting rid of like housing deposits and all that. They give them vouchers and they start moving over this side.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not like it used to be. It used to be real quiet. So.
Okay. So back then, who was moving in there? What was it primarily?
I say college students and probably some kids. I'll say that because you ain't really see a whole lot of black people in that area.
You did not back then?
Nah.
Okay.
What was there before they built all that? It was wood. It was old car. All this on Lexington Road, Walmart, everything on Lexington Road was nothing but wood. Wow. There's a Lord Stevens, there's a church, Lord Stevens, Walmart. All that was wood when I was the boy. Wow. You see some change. I really have. And from there's another house over here in this neighborhood. All this land over here where this Dollar Tree and the skate park and all. She was primary, y'all.
10 years, okay.
No, I don't do no
But what about anybody else, like anywhere Walmart or Conagra or the Perfect Polish? I keep wanting to call it Sparkle.
I don't know, man. Let me tell you something. I don't have some females in my day, so.
It sounds like it. It sounds like it. But were you juggling?
It sounds like it. It sounds like it. Hey, yo. Fuck no.
I ain't gonna say that.
I'm not going to go talk to them.
I ain't know.
Like, Brenda was the primary, right?
She was primary, y'all.
10 years, okay.
No,
All right, let me slow it down because it's kind of hard to understand them. Oh, this on normal speed.
But what about anybody else, like anywhere Walmart or Conagra or the Perfect Polish? I keep wanting to call it Sparkle.
I don't know, man. Let me tell you something. I don't have some females in my day, so.
It sounds like it. It sounds like it. But were you juggling any other females around that time? Seeing me on the side?
I probably was. I don't have a lot of females in my day.
Okay. Do you date white girls or do you date black girls or does it matter?
I have dated white chicks. I have dated one white
Hey, yo, that's crazy. Yo, they still haven't told this man. Yo, we are 17 minutes in. They still haven't told them that they bringing him in about a fucking murder. Yeah, I don't think he's in trouble. Do you like white girls or you like black girls? So if he say he like white girls, then what? Does that mean he's more than likely have done this? Since he like white girls?
One line check?
Yeah.
Who is she?
Her name was Rita Spears. That was
White girls or do you date black girls or does it
I
matter?
have dated white chick. I have dated one white chick, but it didn't work out.
One line check?
Yeah.
Who is she?
Her name was Rita Spears. That was she's from she's from
out?
Because she bipolar, she wanted me to be with her and call her all the time.
Oh, okay.
And she lives up in Carsville.
I'd have been like, yo, hold the fuck up, man. Yo, like he supposed to been stop this line of questioning. He supposed to been stop this line of questioning. Yo, what are we doing here? What is this about? Fuck all. I'm not answering no more questions until you tell me why am I here. See, cause this is how they trick you, man. They trick you under the guise of we just want to ask you a couple questions and we're gonna let you go. But he's too old to know that, to think that. I mean, it's one thing when you talking to a teenager or somebody in their early 20s. Yeah, but you 30-something years old, bro. You supposed to know good goddamn well. They ain't just bring you here to have a casual conversation.
I don't really, I don't have no edge about females, race, no color, nothing like that.
Right.
I talk to everybody. I'm cool with everybody. You can go to her right now and ask anybody about me when it comes to communication. I communicate for this mind. I would be
Sure.
I don't mess around, man. I just treat everybody the same.
Okay. Did you ever date anyone over in that Deer Park area?
No.
Any college students, anything like that?
I ain't know nobody over there.
You didn't know nobody over there? You never made friends? You just didn't talk to everybody.
I mean, I talk to everybody, but that was my cup of tea to go over there and deal with those people up across the street. I ain't go over there. I ain't nothing about over there.
Why not?
I ain't know nobody over there. That wasn't my thing. I wanted to see my stepmom.
Yeah.
Or whatever. That was it. I mean, this a neighborhood that just came up. I don't know anything about that neighborhood.
Okay.
And I don't have no dealers over there, period. Anybody from over there ever come looking for you? Just to be friends with or hang out with? Mm-hmm. Back then, man, there was a place everybody like, man, I'm cool. It's just a place that came with this coming up. And everybody feel like it's high or it's expensive. Everybody going over there, so.
That's how it was kind of perceived?
Yeah, I'm about to go over there.
Okay.
And Judge, we're stopping at approximately 7:05:40, and we're moving forward to 7:08:35. I think I started the sound a little late. I'm going to back up.
We've got these warrants. They are for a myriad of charges that range from arson to murder.
What?
Mm-hmm.
For me?
Hey, yo, fuck no, yo. Yo, hell no, yo. Yo, this is horrible. Yo, why hasn't this made mainstream? Where the fuck is Say Cheese and all them other fuck boys when you need them? I'm gonna have to change the title of this live. What's your name? Yeah, they skipping hell of time. What's your name? Edrick. Yo, this is crazy, y'all. Yo, we are. They is 30 minutes, probably 40 minutes, an hour into this questioning, and break the news to him like this. You know, we got warrants on a range of charges, just based off his DNA, nothing else. That they probably planted there, because they found out he lived close to the area at the time, and he got a record. Probably got some violence in his history. Yeah, and it ranged from arson to murder. Toast said, what, me?
We've got these warrants. They are for a myriad of charges that range from arson to murder.
What? For me?
And that's what you're talking about, this incident back in 2001. I think there's 9 different warrants, and that's how about this, get your side of the story, you know, kind of hash everything that happened, and you know, obviously I think you can pick up on the fact that it involves that area, that park area or whatever. But in my opinion, I mean, you can see that I've done research, right? In my area, I know, but when we're talking about that and we're talking about these charges,
Who just send me a cash app request?
explanation as to why you're there, right? And that's kind of what I'm trying to talk to you about. So tell me about why you would be there in that Deer Park area back in 2001 and kind of, you know, engaging in all these sorts of things at one of those duplexes.
I never, that spiral mill, that's a place I've never been to. I started going there throughout the years, like, when people thought, other people, when we started moving in,
Look, now look, you see how everything just changed? Now what they say is that proves guilt. Nah, but that he just nervous now. Y'all done put him in a trick bag. Y'all brought him in here, asked him these questions, acting all nice and kind to him, and then dropped the motherfucking a nuke bomb on him about a murder case. Now he like, yo, what the fuck is this? Now he's stuttering and shit.
And kind of, you know, engaging in all these sorts of things at one of those duplexes.
I never, that spiral mill, that's a place I've never been to. I started going there throughout the years, like, when people thought, other people, when we started moving in, then, well, back in the day, the only reason I go like in the evening time, it's every blue moon. I gotta get my bike in the evening time, like 3 or 4 o'clock in the evening, I ride. I may ride through the whole, you know what I'm saying, ride from one day. Where we used to be, because everybody in the neighborhood on the other side, the whole your part, all the way on East Meadow and all the way in Morning View. I don't have no business over there dealing with them over there, but that ain't my coaching. They ain't going to drink over there, and I don't drink with them, so we over here drinking. If one of my cousins don't come in and pick me up, and we go to both doors from right out, they say, I don't have no business over there fooling them people that they ain't doing that to me. And you said that you rode a bike? Every once in a while, I may ride. If I went over there, but I didn't deal with that sex. But you're the rock? Just no rock? This is my neighborhood right here. I don't know about people over there. The Cross Cooper, right? Exactly. I don't have no business over there, period. And you said around 3 or 4 in the afternoon? I said yes. I went over there. If I rode a bike, I would go in. But I got no reason going over there messing with no people, period. No reason whatsoever.
Your Honor, we're stopping at approximately 7:11:15.
It happened. It's not happened back in the day. If I just rode my bike. Or walking, I ain't have no business singing into the manila. Okay. That ain't my gig over there. If I went anywhere, I would go to the, back then, I would go to the hood in A.S. North. That's probably where I'll be at. Would you cut through your park to get out? No, it's not that way. It's not my stepmom, but I ain't really, you know what I'm saying, deal around too tough in it. Okay. It's kind of like one of the biggest deals that's happened in Athens. A murder? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, some girl. Did you know her? No connection to her? No. I don't know nothing about her. Never. I mean, the only time I see that, the only time I seen it was in the newspaper. I ain't never seen it or nothing else about that girl. I ain't know her. I don't know nothing about her. You know what she looks like? Sorry. Okay. You've never talked to her? No, never. No. Okay. Don't even know her. Don't know nothing about her at all. All I know is that she was a law student at the UGA, and she stayed on Bond Drive. And throughout the years, I know that right there they got that's where the rent office is right now. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's where the publicity is right beside it.
That's fucked up.
It was after the fact that when we started moving in, when black people started moving in, my papa stayed right beside. Right beside the actual building, just like a 20,
Yeah, for real.
not no recent thing. No, that's no recent. Okay. Did you know any of her roommates?
Look, the man just said, I don't even know her. Your next question is, do you know any of her roommates? I don't even know these people, man.
Do you know any of their boyfriends or anything like that?
Did he know her?
And Your Honor, I'm stopping at 7:15:05 and moving forward to
This is crazy, y'all.
16:14.
Why ain't nobody cover this, man? See, that's why I don't be fucking with these blogs. They post all this nonsense. But here it is, you got a dude, a black man that could possibly be railroaded. And ain't nobody talking about it? It's crazy. Where Paul Birdsong and them? Where the Black Lion Party? Fuck is my son at? All these fuck boys.
And Agent Howell, kind of just before this portion of the video that we're about to play, had you asked Mr. Faust a question about his awareness of a national database of DNA?
Yes.
They got him 23 years later. And asking him about the day of the murder.
DNA? Yeah. My DNA? Man, it's been a long time. We've made so many advancements and things. If you can help us understand why your DNA's in that house, help us. I don't want to put your finger on the help us. I'm here to exonerate just as much as I am to hunt.
Yo, they did him dirty, man.
And
telling you what they
Agent
did,
Hamill,
y'all.
in response to
I'm telling you what they did, y'all. I'm telling you this is what they did. Yo, they checked yo, they planted his evidence. They planted his DNA. They planted that man DNA at that scene, man. They probably scoured the neighborhood, seeing who lived in that area that had a criminal history, and stumbled across him. And stumbled across him, yo, and charged him for that shit. Cause they don't have, like, yo, this is crazy. This is crazy, y'all. This is probably one of the worst prosecutions I've seen in a while. This reminds me of the Harlem Park 3. That video I did on the Baltimore kids. Just making up shit.
request for Mr. Faust to help you with an explanation regarding his DNA. What was his response?
What can he
No
say?
explanation was provided.
Okay.
What the fuck? Yo, is you serious? Yo, wow. What can he say? I don't know. Yo, this is crazy.
And I think that's all I have for you about this interview. And so, Your Honor, if I could have just a moment to.
You may.
Yo. That was crazy. I ain't never seen an interview conducted like that, man.
Good morning, Mr. Melton. My name is Attorney Amai Cruz.
New evidence in DNA. I forgot what they said. They said it.
I have the privilege and honor of representing Mr. Faust, and under the authority of this court, I'm going to ask you some questions, okay?
Yeah, but Trapper, they showed a video of the boyfriend hands 2 days after the murder. Yo, the man looked like he put his hands down the damn garbage disposal. Yo, the man looked like he put his hands down the garbage disposal, man. 2 days after the murder.
Why didn't you cry?
He
Just now. Why didn't any tears fall out of your eyes?
They are falling out.
Well, let's talk about January 19th. Would you agree that today you were much more emotional than you were on the day that you learned Ms. Baker's death?
I was holding it together best I could.
So your borderline fiance is murdered, and you were holding it together on the 19th, but 25 years later, you have emotion about it?
In that moment, when I'm finding this out.
Mr. Melton, that's a yes or no question.
Judge, the witness is allowed to answer Mr. Cruz's question.
That's correct.
When this tragedy occurred, and I'm taking this information in, I am telling myself inside, do not collapse in this moment. Hold it together. There are other people that are also relying on you. And I had to get through this. And that's where I'm at.
Who was relying on you during your initial interview with police?
The police, her family, her friends, anyone who loved her.
So the police were relying on you to hold it together during the interview?
If I'm not holding it together, I can't think
he
things
made a
through.
law. That's what happened.
Did you know that your DNA was found in Ms. Baker's anus?
I was informed.
Who told you that?
Liz and Jeremy from the GBI.
When did they tell you that? Because in the recorded interview that we have, they didn't mention that to you.
That's my recollection.
My question is when?
Where's his police interview? Does he have a police interview? Yo, where's his police interrogation? Who watched this trial? Alan. Did he have a police interrogation? What the fuck? Get the fuck out of here, yo. Wow.
If that's not the correct recollection, I'm not sure at this moment.
Let me ask you this. When was the last time you met with the state?
This morning.
Okay. And they talked to you about your testimony?
We went over what the courtroom would be like.
Okay. So this is rehearsed. Is that fair to say?
I wouldn't say rehearsed.
But you went over it not just this morning. You went over it a couple of times last week. Is that right?
We have established a process in which would occur in this courtroom as far as steps that are taken once I get here and whatnot.
Okay. So the questions that you were asked today, you already knew you were going to be asked those questions, correct?
Yes.
Where's indulgence?
I gave his ass a million.
Mr. Melton, I am going to first place you went on January 19th on that board there?
And, Your Honor, I would ask that if Mr. Cruz is going to ask the witness to engage in whatever this is, that be repositioned to a place where the jury can actually see it.
I could do that. We'll start on page 2.
So what's his name? I wonder, was he given immunity? Chris Melton.
We'd like to also be able to see it. I guess, Judge, do you want us to move, or do you want him to move it over there?
Mr. Cruz, I think perhaps moving that back would be best for everyone to take a look at it. Thank you, Mr. Hill.
Sure.
No, yo. What's this guy's name, y'all? Real Chris Mountain about his law student. Oh yeah, Chris Mountain. Oh, that is his name.
Sir. You may proceed.
Sure. Can you write the first place you went and the time that you went to that location? Okay, so I want to make sure I'm correct. You wrote Nash Plumbing 7:30 to 7:45. Okay, so you remember from January 19, 2001, you went to Nash Plumbing between those times. Is that fair to say? Okay, but you could not remember when law enforcement asked you if you knew Ms. Baker was going to be alone in 2006? You can take a seat, Mr. Melton.
along the way, I'm questioned about certain things, and I pull up my best recollection. Post this, I've been traumatized. I'm grieving.
Oh my gosh, you playing a victim.
My mind is certain things and certain times. It's hard to pull from. And in those moments,
Man, fuck that. He did that shit. Man, this nigga out here trying to put on the show. Yeah, it's something like that because they had a long distance relationship at first. Now he's just so traumatized and distraught. But he ain't cry the day she was found murdered. He ain't shed a tear. Now, 25 years later, he distraught and heartbroken and everything else he just said.
stressed also. In times it's more difficult than others in certain moments to recollect certain things.
A week before, look at this, y'all. A week before her death, Melton moved back to his parents' house for financial reasons, but retained his apartment in Athens. A week before she died, he moved.
Sir.
Let me cut you off. So it's easier to recollect alibi than it is to recollect whether or not the girl that you love told you that she was going to be home alone.
This question is argumentative and improper.
Sustained.
Sure. So it's easy to remember where you went on the 19th. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Mr. Melton, so after you left Nash Plumbing, where did you go?
After I left Nash Plumbing, I went to the bank.
Okay. Can you write the time that you arrived at the bank on the board? You can just put bank and then you can put the time. Okay. Sure. So just to ask you, so you can remember that you went to Nash Plumbing, and then after that, you can remember that you went to the bank from January 19, 2001.
That's correct.
Okay. But you cannot remember from January 18th whether or not Miss Baker told you she was going to be alone?
At that time, it could depend on when the question's asked. It's not... If it's in a stressful moment, I'm going through things and trying to pull from times prior to this, when I'm not trying to, how should I say, lock in on certain things previous to this, it is difficult.
Okay. Would you agree
previous to to her death? Go ahead.
I didn't hear you. Say that one more time.
I should say, it's like certain days, if somebody asks you what you had for breakfast, I couldn't tell you. But if I'm constant.
So his DNA was found on it too. But they excluded him. Yo, wow, yo, this is crazy, y'all. So they found both their DNA. Yo, come on now. So they find both these people DNA. He has a known connection to this girl. Scars on his hands. But since he had an alibi, he got excluded. But the other guy, who has no known connection to this girl, his hands don't look like they was in the motherfucking look like his hands was dipped in acid. But he's the prime suspect. Man, hell no. Yo, that is crazy, y'all. Hey, Reed, you see this shit? Man, hit that like button, man. Yo, this is crazy, y'all.
Concentrating on after certain times, yes, I can on certain things. But It's hard to describe.
So I'll switch gears because I do want to talk about a difficult subject with you. You mentioned that you were told that your DNA was in Miss Baker's anus. Is that right?
Yes, there was a point in time.
Okay.
I found out.
And we've agreed that that time didn't
Look.
occur.
Look at him. He don't even want to answer the question. This man's guilty as a motherfucker, y'all.
Concentrating on after certain times. Yes, I can.
Now hit that like button, share this live, man. This need to go viral, man. This man's got railroaded, man, in Georgia, man. He got railroaded in Georgia. Not him, but the guy that they found guilty. Edrick Faust. Bro, they don't have no evidence, bro. Yo, they charged this man because DNA. That's it though. No history of this of him knowing this girl. No, he got charged with burglary. They don't have no evidence that he broke in the girl. They don't have no evidence on this man, Edrick Faust, at all, other than DNA. And I don't even believe that's. I believe they planted that DNA, for real. I believe that they figured out that he was a criminal. He got a history, and he was in the area at the time of the alleged murder. So they fucking charged him with that shit, man. Planted his DNA, charged him. Meanwhile, you got a boyfriend who hands look like he fucking was looked like he got dragged by a car. He was trying to get up on his hands. They exclude, and his DNA was found in the girl ass, for real. He get excluded though. He gets sentenced tomorrow. Wow, y'all.
But it's hard to describe.
So I'll switch gears because I do want to talk about a difficult subject with you. You mentioned that you were told that your DNA was in Miss Baker's anus. Is that right?
Yes, there was a point in time.
Okay.
I found out.
And we've agreed that that time didn't occur during your recorded interview. Is that right?
Look. Yo, why are you so scared, bro? Why are you so scared? If you have nothing to hide, like how we seen Edrick Faust had nothing to hide when he was in the interrogation room. Yo, why are you dancing around questions, man, and getting, voice changing when he asks you certain things?
That is fair. So let me ask you this, Mr. Melton. You would agree that Miss Baker did not engage in anal sex with you, is that correct?
That's correct.
You would agree that Miss Baker was sexually assaulted anally, is that correct?
I wouldn't really know if she was sexually assaulted anally. Like, I don't.
Well, we can't have it both ways, Mr. Melton.
I don't understand that.
You previously stated that Miss Baker, Miss Bigham and Jeremy Howell told you that your DNA was in her anus. Can we agree on that? Is that fair to say?
Maybe I'm mistaken on how I found that information out. Maybe.
I'm going to object to lack of personal knowledge. Mr. Cruz is asking this witness about information relayed to him as hearsay by other witnesses who had the actual information. So I think that's both lack of personal knowledge as well as calling for hearsay.
All right. Any response to the objection, Mr. Cruz?
Sure. Mr. Melton stated that he was aware that his DNA was found in Miss Baker's anus. He stated that Miss Bigham and Jeremy Howell were the individuals that told him, and we're fleshing out his knowledge in regards to what he's aware of, Your Honor.
Yeah, I think did he ever even mention where Edrick DNA was? I think it was just in the house. Did he ever mention Trell or Allen? Did he ever mention where exactly was his DNA?
The form of the question, I'm going to sustain the objection. You may rephrase if you choose to do so.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. But there should be no reason that your DNA should be in Miss Baker's
In her
anus. Would you
mouth.
agree?
I mean, other than if we have had sex and it has transferred from there and, say, drained down to that area. And
That is interesting that you say drain, because did you know that's the exact same thing the state is arguing in this case?
well, I mean, it makes sense, though.
So your DNA is in her anus because it drained down in her anus. Is that your position?
I would say that would...
Again, Your Honor, lack of personal knowledge,
Yo,
lack
this
of
man is
foundation.
guilty as a
There's
motherfucker,
been no
right?
foundation laid that Mr. Melton's aware of these things. That would all be through GBI crime lab witnesses who do have personal knowledge and scientific information. And so there's no foundation for these questions, and he's asking for things that are outside of Mr. Melton's personal knowledge. He's asking about things
I would object to a speaking objection, Your Honor, and just ask the state to state the ground.
Okay, I'm going to overrule that objection. He was just explaining his objection. I'm going to respond in the same way as the last objection. I'm going to sustain the objection as to the form of the question, allow you to rephrase if you choose to do so.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. Would you agree that in order for your DNA to drain into Miss Baker's anus, you would have to have sex with her? Can we agree on that point?
Agree.
Okay. Did you have sex with Miss Baker the day of her death?
No, sir.
The last time you saw Miss Baker, was it 6 days before, 10 days before?
From the beginning, I said I saw her the weekend prior.
From the beginning, you've said that?
Yes, sir.
That you've seen her the weekend, and that has always been what you said.
There was a time that I was confused, and it was 20 plus years later. And then I made a statement that I felt like maybe it was 10 days prior, and I was confused at that point because I have always said, from even meeting with the detectives from the beginning, that we were together that weekend. And then time had gone by, and I had even spoke out publicly for the first time.
Mr. Melton, to my question, is that a yes or a no?
he's in the middle of providing his news. Again, the witness has a right to answer Mr. Cruz's questions in the manner that he believes the answer should be given.
It's non-responsive, Your Honor, and I would ask the state to stop the speaking objections because they are coaching the witness in the middle of his testimony.
Okay, I'm going to overrule that objection, and I'm going to sustain the state's objection. This witness is allowed to respond to your question, and if he's in the middle of responding, no one can interrupt. You may continue if you choose to do so.
Well, time had gone by, and then I had spoken publicly. At this point, I have stated over and over again that we were together the weekend before. And then there was a point in time that Tara's mother had stated that she was at her house.
I'm going to object to hearsay.
I am going to sustain that objection.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I don't want to send the jury out, but I would like the approach to understand the parameters of which I could.
Yo, this is a bunch of bullshit, y'all. Yo, this is a bunch of bullshit. I don't know. Why they sidebar?
Over and over again that we were together.
Objection. This witness is allowed to respond to...
Has a right to answer Mr. Cruz's questions in
20 plus years.
You know they trying to hide something. Look how much they objecting. That's how you know the prosecution is on some bullshit. Y'all acting like he a suspect or something. Yeah, man. Let him answer the questions.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
Or is he a suspect? Yo, start that shit, y'all.
Would you agree that in order for your DNA to drain into Miss Baker's anus, you would have to have sex with her? Can we agree on that point?
Agree.
Okay. Did you have sex with Miss Baker the day of her death?
No, sir.
The last time you saw Miss Baker, was it 6 days before or 10 days before?
From the beginning, I said I saw her the weekend prior.
From the beginning, you said that?
When he moved.
Yes, sir.
That you've seen her the weekend, and that has always been what you said?
There was a time that I was confused.
Mm-hmm.
And it was 20 plus years later.
Mm-hmm.
And then I made a statement that I felt like maybe it was 10 days prior. And I was confused at that point. Because I have always said from even meeting with the detectives from the beginning that we were together that weekend. And then time had gone by. And I had even spoke out publicly for the first time.
Mr. Melton, to my question, is that a yes or a no?
Judge, he's in the middle of providing his answer. Again, the witness has a right to answer Mr. Cruz's questions in the manner that he believes the answer should be given.
It's non-responsive, Your Honor, and I would ask the state to stop the speaking objections because they are coaching the witness in the middle of his testimony.
Okay, I'm going to overrule that objection, and I'm going to sustain the state's objection. This witness is allowed to respond to your question, and if he's in the middle of responding, no one can interrupt. You may continue if you choose to do so.
You're not going to continue.
Well, time had gone by. And then I had spoken publicly at this point. I have stated over and over again that we were together the weekend before. And then there was a point in time that Tara's mother had stated that she was at her house.
I'm going to object to hearsay.
I am going to sustain that objection.
Your Honor,
God damn. Yo, this nigga is objecting. Hey, yo, I have never seen that done before. He just objected to his own witness testimony. Hey, yo, the man just objected to his own witness testimony, man. Not a question that the defense given him. The witness was in the middle of responding to the defense answer. He objected to it. Yeah, they on some bullshit.
Yes.
I don't want to send the jury out, but I would like the approach to understand the parameters in which I could.
I see why he did a sidebar. Cause that was insane. Yeah, this is wild, y'all.
you've been asked that question, is it? So, Mr. Melton, this isn't the first time you've been asked that question, is it?
I can't quite remember.
Okay. Do you recall on May 5th, 2024, being asked where you resided when you went to your parents' home the week before Miss Baker's death?
I don't recall the question.
Say that one more time. You don't recall what now?
I don't recall.
Being asked that question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you recall making the statement, so I was working there and driving back and forth? Well, my parents, we had a furnished basement. So then that's where I was. Do you recall making that statement?
I don't recall making the statement, but it seems okay.
Judge, I move to introduce.
Seems okay. Fuck that man. That's a damn shame when they able to railroad motherfucker on national television.
I move to introduce as defense exhibit number 32, Mr. Melton's May 5th, 2024 interview with Miss Elizabeth Bigham. The minute mark is 1442 through 1448. And before I introduce this, you do recall speaking with Miss Bigham, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Your Honor, I would ask to play minute mark 1442 through 1448 into the record.
All right. Any objection from the state?
I don't think any of the foundation for proper admission has been laid. However, if this is that interview, the state would stipulate to the foundation for the admissibility.
Can you all confer about whether that's accurate since you're offering to stipulate?
Yeah, this is correct. Okay, yeah, I don't have a problem.
All right. You may proceed. And it is, are you asking to admit it, Mr. Cruz?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
That portion.
Just that portion. Mr. Yalamanchili, are you objecting to what Mr. Cruz has just offered into evidence? That particular, yes.
This is bad, man.
I don't have a transcript pulled up, Judge, but accepting Mr. Cruz's representation that what he's
he look like
is...
he looking like a suspect. I don't see how the jury didn't see that. Like if I was a juror, I'd have been like, yo, hell no, this man did that shit. Like, cause why are you so nervous? You ain't on trial. You're not on trial, bro. She's so nervous for. Why are you speaking so low? If I was low, I'd have told him to speak up. Can you? Every time he got low like that, I'd have made him speak up. You know, just so the jury can see what's going on. Like, yo, why he's speaking so quietly? Like, you know, he's not speaking with confidence. He's hiding something.
The answer that he just asked Mr. Melton about that he didn't recall, I don't have any objection.
All right. And it is at that minute mark that the defense has just articulated is admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And you said that was what, Mr. Cruz? I'm sorry,
1442.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Through 1448.
Okay.
That's a low ass courtroom too. It's a small town.
Current time is 8:50.
They didn't hear that shit.
finished basement and had the bedroom upstairs. Finished basement. So then that's where I was keeping being
Oh, there you go.
there and driving back and forth. Well, my parents, that we got the finished basement. So then that's where I was keeping being in, well, pretty much Jersey.
Okay, did you hear that? I was driving back and forth. We pretty much had a huge basement. That's where I was keeping, and then I cut the audio off.
I hear that.
So you were staying in the basement, is that correct?
I would stay in, there's times I stay in both. We had finished basement and had the bedroom upstairs.
Okay.
And the furnished basement was set up as a place to stay, a place to hang out for whoever.
Objection,
and also had
unresponsive.
Overruled.
God damn.
You may continue with your.
Yo, is she gonna grant any of the defense attorney fucking fuck you call that shit? Motions, I guess. God damn, she overruled everything he did.
The finished basement would have like a couch, sofa, TV, things, and my old bedroom upstairs also had a bed and so forth, and I would stay and hang out in one, stay in the other, depending on who was there at the time, if we had visitors or whatnot. So I would stay in the basement if nobody else is using it.
Under narrative.
I'm going to overrule the objection. You may continue.
Jesus Christ.
So with that being said, I feel like kind of both are true. I had my old bedroom and they had a furnished basement.
I'd like to show you what's been marked as Defense Exhibit 33 and Defense Exhibit 34. Let the record reflect that I'm showing Mr. Melton what has been marked as Defense Exhibit 33 and Defense Exhibit 34. And Mr. Melton, you recognize Defense Exhibit 33 and Defense Exhibit 34 as photographs of your house. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and I believe Defense Exhibit 33 is the side of your house, and Defense Exhibit 34 is the back side of your house. Is that right?
That's correct.
Your Honor, I would move to, have those photographs been altered in any way?
No.
And that's a fair and accurate depiction of your home. Is that correct?
Correct.
Your Honor, I would move to admit Defense Exhibit 33 and Defense Exhibit 34 into evidence.
No objection.
They are admitted.
Now, Mr. Melton, you would agree there's a reason why you would say that you were staying in the second story of the house, correct?
As far as
there is a back door exit on the basement. I believe that's Defense Exhibit 34, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right?
There's a basement exit, yes, sir.
And there's also a side exit from the basement, which was Defense Exhibit 33. Is that correct?
There's one exit. There's a door on the backside that goes into like a dead space that's more for access.
So Defense Exhibit 34, the backside is a door to enter and exit the basement where you don't have to go in the house. Is that right?
The side door would be. The back door is not.
But either way, there's an exit there's an exit from the basement and an entrance into the basement. Is that right?
That's correct.
Now, do you recall your parents talking to law enforcement?
They did.
And they were one of your alibi witnesses. Is that right? Were you aware of that?
I would say yes. They knew I was there.
And you're their only child?
I am.
Oh, wow.
And by the time law enforcement spoke with them, you had been staying with them for 4 months. Is that correct?
I had started staying with them after this incident. Yes. So, yes.
After Tara's passing?
That's correct.
So if any other witness said you moved home months before, that would be untrue.
That's correct.
I want to talk to you about Miss Baker a little bit, okay? We'll switch gears and come back to some of this stuff. Would it be fair to describe Miss Baker as super friendly?
That'd be a fair statement.
You would also describe her as down to earth?
Correct.
She did not have any racial biases?
No, sir.
And although she was a law student, you would agree that she was not pretentious.
I mean, no, sir. Not unless it's for little specialty things like her collections of things, but no.
Now, is it fair to describe Miss Baker as a casual dresser, shorts, hiking boots, sweat top type of girl?
Yes, sir.
She was more of a flats over heels kind of girl. Is that fair to say?
Fair to say.
Okay. And she had more of on her day-to-day appearance, she had more of a casual appearance that did not include daily makeup. Is that right?
I would say, light makeup, if any.
I'd like to show you what would be marked as Defense Exhibit 35. Your Honor, I'd like to approach the witness to show him Defense Exhibit 35. Do you recognize the photo of Miss Baker?
It's Miss Baker. Stare.
And is that how Miss Baker, makeup-wise, hair-wise, is that how she carried herself mostly on a daily basis?
I'll say yes.
And that's the fair, accurate depiction of Miss Baker as you would remember her.
I'll say yes, sir.
Okay. Your Honor, I would move to admit Defense Exhibit 35 into evidence.
Any objection?
No objection, Judge.
It is admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now I'd like to ask you about the times that you visited Miss Baker's home in Deer Park. Is that okay?
Okay.
All right. Is it fair to say that you've probably visited Deer Park more times than you could count?
She wasn't there a terribly long time, but I would say, yeah. We've been there many times.
Okay. And during the times that you visit Miss Baker's apartment, you'd see normal foot traffic. Is that fair to say?
That's fair to say.
And that foot traffic was due to a Walmart being on the opposite side of the neighborhood. Is that correct?
I say there's a Walmart. Yes, sir. And then
That like button, y'all.
Majority of that
Scratch
foot
the traffic.
traffic, it was African Americans walking. Is that fair to say?
Share this live, man, because this live is important, man. This man just got railroaded. This is the real suspect. You feel me? The real suspect is on the stand while an innocent man is being prosecuted.
it's fair to say.
And those African Americans were typically in the late teenage, young adult range. Is that correct?
I would say it would vary, but I would say young teenagers, I would say.
Now, in regards to Miss Baker's passing, on January 19th, you testified that you went to the scene of Miss Baker's death.
That's correct.
And while at the crime scene, you were asked to identify Miss Baker.
That's correct.
Okay, and you were shown a single photo of Miss Baker. Is that right?
That's correct.
That like button, y'all.
To reflect that I'm showing the state what has been marked as Defense Exhibit 36. Let the record reflect that I'm showing Mr. Melton what has been marked as Defense Exhibit 36. You recognize the photo?
I believe it's the photo I saw.
This was the photo that you were shown to ask to identify Ms. Baker?
No.
This was not the photo?
I don't believe that was the photo.
Can you describe the photo that you were shown to identify Ms. Baker?
I believe that her head was turned slightly. And there was coverage.
They ain't putting on a show.
Schmelly, you're just shown a photograph of Ms. Baker deceased, and you have not shed a tear.
Come on now. I think I need a moment, like.
Sure.
Yo, can't believe the jury ain't see through this bullshit.
Okay.
So let's switch gears while we're here. You testified on direct examination that you became so upset that you punched the wall in your apartment. Is that correct?
When I unleashed the emotions, yes.
Okay. And when you unleashed the emotions, you became extremely angry. Is that correct?
I was upset. Yes, that would. I was upset at the situation.
And the way you chose to release
right.
your emotions was through violence. Would you agree?
Towards that wall.
But you told the jury that the injuries to your hands came from punching the wall. Is that right?
My injuries came from punching the wall.
Yo, come on now. Yo, when he punched the brick wall? Get the fuck out of here, y'all. Yo, come on now. It couldn't have been no sheetrock. But it was a stone wall? The fuck? Ain't no way a wall did that damage, man. You can't punch a wall till your hands look like that. Well, did he pull up another picture of his hands? For people that didn't see it? Let me show y'all his hands, man. Fuck do your name was? Fuck your name was, y'all? Chris. Y'all gotta see his hands. What's his name, y'all? C-H. Chris. What is it, Wilton? Hey, Trey, what's your name? Chris what? Let me see. I think I wrote it in here. Melton. Google be on some bullshit, man. Yo, y'all gotta see it. It's late. It's early on in the video. Looked like he was punching a cheese grater or something. Ain't no way you punch the wall that many times till your hands look like that. Ain't no fucking way. I can't believe, and see, Google be playing a dirty game. I can't believe they ain't gonna give us no just a picture of his hands. They showed it in the trial. There it is. For the people that been here, y'all seen it. Ain't no way he punched no wall, man. Right? You had to have a razor sticking out of it. Yo, you gonna bend, stop punching the wall. Your hands look like that? You ain't gonna keep punching no wall, man. Eventually the wall's gonna get a hole in it. Like, is there a picture of this wall that he punched? That wall should be finished. If he punched the wall with those hands and the wall did that damage, we should be able to get a picture of the wall. Straight up. That wall should have holes all over it. It should look like goddamn Swiss cheese.
Okay, and we've already agreed. Well, you've testified that the wall was sheetrock. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Come on now.
I'd like to show you what would be marked.
Come on now. I just said that. Sheetrock, you're going to go straight through it. If the wall was sheetrock, you're going to punch through the wall. For him to have got that damage on his hands from punching a wall, that wall had to have been stone. Brick.
Dash.
Steel. That should have had to be steel.
Defense Exhibit 37.
Assault on the wall.
Defense Exhibit 38.
Excuse me, y'all.
Defense Exhibit 39. And Defense Exhibit 40.
Why are they blurring it?
Let the record reflect that I am showing the state what has been marked as Defense Exhibit 37 through Defense Exhibit 40.
Why are they not showing it? This whole trial was a sham. The way they recording it and everything.
Your Honor, let the record reflect that I'm showing Mr. Milton what has been marked as Defense Exhibit 38 through Defense Exhibit 40.
I have 37 also.
I'm sorry, 37 through 40. Please forgive me. Is it okay if I approach you, Mr. Milton?
Yes. Yes, sir.
So why wouldn't you not
Please
show
take a
them?
moment and take a look at Defense Exhibit 37 through Defense Exhibit 40.
Yo, see, he's not doing the... hold on.
You recognize Defense Exhibit 37 through Defense Exhibit 40 as the wall that you punched. Is that correct?
I would say yes.
Okay. Is that a fair and accurate depiction of how that wall looked after you punched it?
I'd say from what I could recollect.
Sure. Has that photograph been altered in any way?
I'm not sure. I wouldn't.
But you have no reason to believe that photograph has been altered in any way. Is that correct?
I have no reason to believe.
Your Honor, I would ask to admit Defense
Man,
Exhibit
sir, I've been
37
asking
through
about you,
Defense
man.
Exhibit 40 into evidence.
Any objection?
No objection.
They are admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would ask to publish to the jury.
Granted.
Yo, he's not doing... Yo, he supposed to be explaining these pictures. See, he probably thinking that they showing it. He supposed to be explaining these pictures, man, so we can hear it as well. He probably don't even know they not showing it. Because more than likely, them pictures should be on a monitor while he's discussing it. What is these pictures of, man? He supposed to have said that so we can hear it. You know the trial was live. He keep offering exhibits and not telling us what they are.
Now let's talk about the injuries to your hands, Mr. Mellon.
Yes, sir.
Course indulgence. And the photographs of your hands have already been admitted through, as Defense Exhibit 29.
Sean, you good?
Your Honor, I just asked you to republish the photographs of the hands to the jury.
Granted.
Court's indulgence, Your Honor. I need one of these photographs. Mr. Milton, I am going to show you one of the photos from Defense Exhibit 29, and we're going to talk about some of these injuries.
Yo, I wanted to see the wall, man. They supposed to put the wall on the monitor, man.
All right.
G-Man.
Can you see your hands on the screen, Mr. Milton?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you would agree, for the purposes of the record, I am making a fist. Mr. Milton, you
Yo,
would
why they blur that, yo? Yo, this is a sham trial, y'all. They showed it once. Why are they not letting the public see his hands? Why are they not letting the public see the wall? Yo, Law and Crime Network is participating on the railroading, man. They all in on it. Yo, since when do they do this? They don't do this in a standard trial. Why is his hands blurred? Why we didn't see the wall? That is two pivotal pieces of evidence for the defense that the people should have seen. There was no reason to have it blurred or not being shown on TV. Ain't like it was a dead body.
that a fist looks like this. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can you make a fist and show the jury what your fist looks like? Okay, excellent. I want to talk about this injury here on the side of your thumb. Can you explain how you got that injury from punching drywall?
Yo, this is crazy, y'all.
My hands are...
Yo, this is egregious right here, y'all. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Why is this not being shown? Yo, there's no reason why this is being blurred. We're seeing graphic images. If it ain't a picture of a dead body, it should be. If it ain't a phone number, it should be shown, man. They're not showing this because they don't want the public outrage.
From work.
Are they?
So, I mean, no, I'm just saying my hands from work are naturally have nicks and such on them. But that very well could have occurred. I mean, from punching through a wall, there's also things inside the wall. There's siding on the wall that has, once you go through, there's nails that may have been there. But at that point, I mean, I have little nicks and cuts just from my profession.
But Mr. Milton, isn't it fair to say as a plumber you wear gloves?
No, sir.
You never wear gloves?
I wear gloves, but not 100% of the time. No, sir.
Well, I showed you Defense Exhibit 37 through Defense Exhibit 40. There's a pair of gloves hanging on your wall, Mr. Milton.
Hanging on my wall.
But you don't use them.
When you're working with your hands, you work quickly also. And you don't have time to always have gloves on. And at that point in time, I'm not working with raw sewage or anything. This is new materials. So with that being said, you're not worried about bacteria or anything infecting your hands. You just work through it.
So today, on February 9th, 2026, you remember exactly how you were working on January 19, 2001.
It's easily to assess because I worked it for so long.
Wow.
Sure. But you don't remember whether or not Ms. Baker told you she was going to be home alone the day before her death.
You know, in moments under stress, I can't recall everything.
So let me ask you about this injury here. So did this come from the wall or did that come from work?
that an injury?
Right here.
I don't know if I.
Well, how about this injury here, Mr. Melton? How would
Hit
you
that
get
like
this
button,
injury
y'all. Come
on
on,
the
y'all.
top of your hand?
Anybody hit the like button in like
in
30
this
minutes.
direction from punching sheetrock.
That even appears.
I gotta do tap screen twice.
Oh yes, when you punch, even when you punch through walls, you got to pull your hand back. I'm punching into a wall, pulling my hand back, punching through a wall, and even
Yo, why is this blurry? Yo, this is bothering me, man. This is bothering me, yo. They hiding evidence, man. The people should be able to see this. There ain't no way. I done punched the wall before. Yeah, I done punched a metal cell before. And my hands ain't getting nowhere near as bad as his. All it is fuck my knuckle up. Your hands was mangled. Mangled. Like he was in a fight with a cat. Like he tried to strangle a cat and it was scratching his hands up. You're not gonna get those wounds from punching a fucking wall, man. Not sheetrock. Now if it was concrete, stone, but not sheetrock, man. Not drywall.
work. I have nicks, cuts, and even burns from soldering pipes and hot materials. I can't tell if that's an injury from hitting something or an injury from work, and it may look like that. Even looks like it could be even a slight solder. That's hard to say. I mean, it's hard for me to assess that.
But this is the first time in 25 years that you've ever made the statement that these injuries were from work. Would you agree?
I've never been asked the question as far as if they're from.
And just to make sure we're on
that I can recall.
Just to make sure we're on the same page. Your exact statement was to law enforcement is the injuries. Matter of fact, we don't even have to go to law enforcement. Your exact statement in the court before these jurors was that these injuries came from punching the wall in your apartment. Do you recall making that statement?
Was this prior to being shown pictures?
Mr. Melton, do you recall making that statement?
Yes, I had injuries from my hands from hitting the wall. That's what I recall.
Yeah.
The safety of our students, ensure that.
Yeah. I gotta do an upload to this so it can reach more people. This trial was egregious, for real. Like one of the worst I've seen in a long time. Yo, they arrested this man 23 years later off of DNA evidence. Nothing else though. No other physical evidence, just DNA. They found the boyfriend DNA inside of this woman. They got pictures of this man's hands scratched all up. The woman died by being strangled and beaten and sodomized brutally. His hands indicate a brutal assault took place. Edrick Faust didn't have no evidence on this man. He was found guilty. And more than likely, ready to get sentenced to life in fucking prison. That's crazy. But it's late, y'all. I'm gonna try to get the upload done on this. But that's crazy. And make sure I hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new. It's another day of QG News, and I'm out.